Wow. Grace and peace, everybody. We are back. You saw the thumbnail. You saw the title. I have no idea what we're going to do tonight. I had intended to go over AV to the Seventh Powers review of last week's entire trial, the YSL trial. AV to the Seventh Power did a fantastic video. I wanted to use that to kind of go over. If you haven't been keeping up with this, you've been wondering why you keep seeing these memes of this guy in court saying some of the craziest stuff. She did a great job. My intention today was to go over that. However, just as today's testimony in court was closing out, I watched the whole thing today. I can't believe it, man. My eyes are going sideways. So they started the day by going over last week, let's just say, the prosecution's lead and star witness, Little Woody. Y'all know who we talk about, Kenneth Copeland. It really went left. It really went left last week. And so the prosecution had this bright idea. Well, hey, what we'll do this week is we'll just play his original interviews with various detectives and police officers to show that what he's saying here now is not what he said back then. Okay? Oh, gosh, it was horrible. It was horrible. The volume was weird. It sounds strange. It was just like make you want to fall asleep. It was horrible. My heart just kept hurting for the people in the jury box that have to listen to this, because I could only imagine. I was like, look, I'm going to pause this. I'm going to go take a nap. I'm going to pause this. I'm going to go to the studio and help somebody out. Come back, and they still going. It was crazy. When they got done today, though, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. They had they dismissed the jury to dismiss any witnesses, and they do work. And so they do it on the front end, they do it on the back end. They say, hey, is there anything you want to talk about or you want to redact or anything of that nature? So at the end, the prosecution was like, yeah, we got about 9 more hours of testimony that we're going to play. And everybody's like, you got to be kidding me. Oh, yeah, now we got phone records, and that's about 4 hours of that. And you could literally hear people like, you got to be kidding me. No way. No way you're going to keep making us listen to this stuff, because it was horrible. It was horrible. I believe that Little Woody is probably lying on the stand right now. I do believe that. But it's not because of listening to this detective interview. It was horrible. But here it comes. This is the part that gets even worse. I don't want to say worse, even better. Right as they're finishing up, I've been watching Lead Attorney and AV. It's entertaining. They make it fun. So I've been watching them. Right as they're literally about to end it, somebody sent AV a message and said, Brian Steele, that's the attorney that is being held in contempt. It said, Brian Steele has filed a motion to recuse Judge Glanville, and it's a banger, or something of that nature. They went over that thing, and let me tell you right now, oh my gosh, this thing has gone so far off course. It is akin to, I'm trying to get to Canada by flying to the moon. That's how far off they are, off course. Oh my gosh. So I did not intend to go over Brian Steele's, literally AV and TLA are finishing it up as I speak. I had intended again to go over AV's really good video summary of last week. I thought it was fun. And she just took it, but oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. I have no idea. I really wanted to, again, keep giving you all some good, fun content and so on and so forth. Matter of fact, you know what it is? This is almost too much. It's almost too good. I just can't imagine. Do we go over the entire court case today? Do we go over the review and summary from last week? Do we pull up Brian Steele's? This is crazy. We are in such unprecedented waters. We are in places now that nobody's ever been here before, where you literally have a judge and the prosecuting attorneys being called as witnesses against themselves. I don't even know what to do. I have no idea. But I do know one thing. I like to say shout out to the best live chat on this side of Pluto. Good to see you, Transplanted Texan. I saw you most of the day. Thank you so much. So good to see you, Shar. Thank you very much. I see you over here, Johnny, over here in Fayetteville, which is not far from Cobb County. Absolutely. Good to see you. I think that's all I got in the building that I haven't seen already. This thing is out of control bananas. I do want to say thank you so very much for the super sticker. Johnny, thank you so very much. I appreciate you saying hello and goodbye. Appreciate you so much, love. Y'all, this case is crazy. I don't understand it. I don't even understand it. And somebody said that, y'all are rooting for the criminals. Y'all are rooting for the criminal. I do think that's interesting. I think that is, in the words of Fani Willis, I think that's cute. Because I know it's this crazy idea. I know this is a banana cuckoo crazy idea, but I thought people were innocent until proven guilty. At the current moment, Young Thug has not been proven guilty, so he can't be a criminal as much as we might believe that he's done some of the things that he's been accused of. We still have here in this country, at the current moment at least, he's still innocent until proven guilty. And I just think it's adorable that we will quickly, especially the highly melanated people who are quick to impugn the justice system when it doesn't go in their favor. But when it's going in their favor, and all of a sudden they switch up and we're rooting for criminals. I just don't. I don't get it. I do not get it. I'm just supposed to. I said I was gonna stop doing that, but I needed something to drink. This is just crazy. All right. At the current moment, we got retired in the building, so now all things are made right. Retired is in the house. Good to see you, sir. Thanks so much. I think what we're gonna do, we're gonna let AV and TLA finish up, and we'll look at this tomorrow because I really want to read this motion by Brian to recuse Judge Glanville. It's crazy. It is crazy. I mean, he is throwing some major haymakers. I mean, he is not playing games with Judge Glanville. Judge Glanville's emotions are going to be emotionally damaged after that because he is not playing games at all, not even a little bit. He means business. So I'm going to go over that tomorrow. We got a lot of time tomorrow. And matter of fact, I don't think they have court tomorrow. So we can go over that tomorrow. Yes, that's what we'll do. We'll go over that tomorrow. Give me a chance to kind of read over it and make sure I understand it. And then also kind of listen to TLA because he just went over it as well. Then I can sound like I'm smart, like I know what I'm talking about. But tonight, I do want to go over AV to Some Powers video. And if you don't know her, she's the lead attorney's co-host. She's been usually sits first chair, most times second chair, but she definitely has been a asset to this understanding law tube community. So I definitely want to give her a shine for that. And what she did was she took last week's 5 days of testimony, 4 days of testimony, and summarized them down into 4 sections or segments. And it was pretty good. It was really, let me take that back. It was really good because I couldn't have done it. So I want to give her a little bit of shine on that. So we're going to look at that. So I appreciate y'all. Hopefully this thing has not tired you all out. I see I got about 25 of you all watching this video. I thank you so much. If you do like this type of content where I am Jason. I am Dear Woke Christian. I'm a pre-K law student, which basically means I know nothing. I just like talking about the law and cultural and political commentary from a Christian male perspective. If you like that type of content, go on and hit that like button. If you don't like this type of content, I appreciate you hanging out with us today. I appreciate you sticking around. Just hit the like button like 3 times. I mean, that's all you got to do. And let's do that. So, but is that something that retired said court is going over motions and that paper tomorrow? Are you talking about the recusal paper? Because that's going to be crazy. And is this going to be something that's shown? Is this something that's going to be available for us to watch? It sounded like there weren't going to be anything to watch until Thursday because they have this tomorrow. And they had a possible C-19 breakout, and no air conditioning and Wi-Fi. This has been the craziest. It's just crazy. Okay, so they were supposed to do the recusals, the redactions and stuff like that tomorrow. They're off Wednesday, and they were supposed to come back on Thursday. But are they going to be doing this tomorrow? I can go over and I got time tomorrow too. I can go over the court case. I can go over Brian Steele's motion tomorrow if somebody can confirm that there's not going to be court, because there's no way I can compete with court. I don't even think the presidential debates can compete with this at this point in the game. I'm sorry. This is just a whole nother game, a whole nother animal at this point. Bring out the mask. Oh my gosh. But I noticed clearly you can choose to not wear a mask, because what's her name? Weaver, the court reporter, she didn't have one on. But Woody did. But it was just wild. All I can say is it was wild. Oh my gosh. Goodness gracious. There's no way, man. There's no way. He said he would cover the paper that Brian handed him tomorrow. And that's Judge Glanville? Oh my gosh. It's a wrap. I don't know what to do. If I can, I will try my best, but there's no way I can compete with the others on LawTube that are doing such a great job at this. Maybe I'll reach out to TLA and say, man, let a brother do a little bit of live streaming. Let a brother do a little bit of live streaming. Come on, man. Let me do a little bit. All right. Not a mandate in the court, it seems. Oh, okay. All right. I'm going to look into it. If there's nothing going on, we'll go over it tomorrow for sure. Yes, he was planning on going over. Oh my gosh. Those things were arduous. They were hard to take. I was feeling sorry for the jury. They had to sit there and listen to that. Okay, I'm going to go back and listen again just to double check. But man, I'm sorry. I've never seen anything like this. That's something. I've never seen anything like this, man. And I haven't been I'm not some kind of legal professional, but I've never seen situations where it is so out of control, so off the rails that, I mean, you literally look at it and it looks like a dumpster fire. I'm saying dumpster fire and not being hyperbole. Like, it's completely and utterly insane what's going on. So court is out Wednesday for sure. YSL Steve, mic drop motion is the game changer for tomorrow. Right. I'm going to try my best because I enjoy hanging out with y'all. But if I got to fight with others, the smart law tube that is actually going to be going over this, then I'm going to have to go over there with y'all. So I will submit to their wisdom. But this is crazy. Absolutely crazy. I have no idea. It's amazing. And let me tell you why. When you hear a crime, a gang, okay, out there doing crime things, gang things, doing bad things, you want justice, and you want them to go to jail. When you hear that, oh man, they caught the gang leader, and they caught the second in command and the third lieutenant, and they got them all together and they got them all arrested. I mean, that's good. And you want that. You're like, good. They're going to get these bad people off the street. And that's the good thing. You want that. But this thing has been handled so poorly. It's hard to root for them, even though it's kind of like a movie where they got you rooting for the bad guy or the anti-hero, if you will. And you're like, I know he's a bad person. I know she's a bad person. I know they're going against God's law. I know they violate what I believe in truth, but the other people are even worse. Like, it's crazy. And you almost like, how can I root for DA Love and Hilton and of course Glanville and the others, when I see them doing so much dirt, so many underhanded things that cause me to not believe that they're doing the right thing, that they're doing it for the right motive, that maybe they only have the right person. It is possible they only have the right person. And sure, I'm not making any excuses. I do believe that more than likely, Young Thug has done some of these bad things that he's being accused of. I'm pretty sure there's probably good reason to believe that. That being the case, however, you got to prove it properly. And if you're doing it wrongly, I can't give you that movement. And it's just sad. Like, man, like I can't give it to him. And say, yeah, I guess I'm rooting for them to fail because they're doing it so wrong. They're demonstrating zero ability to do it correctly. Like, that's crazy. All right, so let's do this. Oh my gosh, you hadn't heard about Steele's motion? Steele dropped oh my gosh. He walked out the door and threw a proverbial stick of dynamite by walking out. When he left, everybody was recessed, and then uploaded a motion to recuse Judge Glanville. And it was scathing. He called him a participant on the prosecution. He's biased. He's unable to give. I mean, he gives. Oh, and by the way, we now know who the mole is. We know who the mole is. But at this point in the game, I don't even see how this case goes on. I just don't see it. So he asked him to recuse himself and to attach double jeopardy, not just a mistrial, but go ahead and attach double jeopardy. This case is over. And I don't see, I hate to say it, I don't see how it doesn't get thrown out. Completely and totally thrown out. It's crazy. So I'm assuming we're talking about the same papers were retired. We might be, we might not be, but I know it was uploaded like literally 5-6 minutes after they closed out, after Judge Glanville's live stream ended. AV and TLA were talking, and it populated on Twitter, and they went crazy. So I don't know if that, I'm assuming that's what was populated. I don't know, but I do know this though. It is a mess. It is a mess. He calls him a participant. He's biased. He's unable to give right judgment. And I mean, in some degree, I mean, he's right, because think about it. Glanville is going to hear the case, referee the case to the end. And then if the jury came back with a guilty verdict, he'd also be the one that's determining the sentencing. That's craziness. And you've done all these things to demonstrate that you are biased toward Young Thug, King Slime, Jeffery Williams, whatever you want to call him. Why is it called Slime? I don't know. Craziness. All right, let's go. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. Let's go ahead and have some fun. If you do like this type of content, do me a favor. It costs you nothing. It doesn't hurt anybody. Just hit that little thumbs up. It lets me know that you like this. It does help out a whole lot. And if you do that, I would greatly appreciate it. So with we got to do this. So let's do it.
Welcome back to Season 3 of As the Peach Rots. In this engrossing third season, we marinate the fetor of Georgia's political elite in the tangy vinegar of accountability. In a state where the odor of mendacity lingers in the air, our intrepid team of chatroom investigators is on a mission to peel back the layers of deceit and uncover the truth. From backroom deals to embezzlement scandals, no stone is left unturned in our pursuit of justice. But as tensions rise and alliances shift, who can be trusted in the Peach State? Join us for a season ripe with drama, where even the fruit isn't safe from corruption, because sometimes the juiciest scandals are right under your nose.
All right, let's get at it. All right, I didn't say it, Sarah. All right, if you don't know, or if you do know, real quick in the chat, tell me who you think the mole is. I will give you a couple of names that you can run from, okay, that you can run with. You got Woody, okay, you got Judge Glanville, you got Attorney Bupkis, who was Woody's stand-in attorney last week, or you could, or Weaver, the court reporter. Who do you think it was? All right. And Tom, I appreciate it. What I'm doing is I'm going over the YSL, the Young Slime Life, Young Thug court case here in Georgia. It is the largest RICO case in Georgia history. It is the longest running case ever in Georgia history, and it's not even a third of the way done. So it will probably be the longest case ever. It's probably going to be in the hundreds of millions, maybe even $1 billion case when all of the smoke clears. It is, again, it's a RICO case. It started out with like 28 defendants of a rap group that was called a gang. And from there, it was whittled down to about 7 or 8 defendants. And that's what we're going over right now. And it just seems like, Tom, every single day, there's something else crazy that happens in this case, from attorneys getting arrested to ex parte meetings going on, drugs being passed off, witnesses being completely uncooperative with their attorneys. You ask, it's probably happened in the Young Thug case. And so tonight, we're just going to go over very quickly a summary. And hold tight, Tom. Matter of fact, Tom, if I didn't earn your thumbs up, don't give me your thumbs up. We're going to go over it, and hopefully you'll see. It is crazy. It's literally, this is what it is. If you're old enough to remember the O.J. Simpson trial, I'm 50 years old, and I remember the O.J. Simpson trial. I know exactly where I was when O.J. Simpson was found innocent, okay? I know exactly where I was, probably even what I was wearing, okay? That was a big situation in my day and in my era. This is the O.J. Simpson trial of this new generation. I'm not even being hyperbole. I'm not even trying to oversell it or overhype it. This is the O.J. Simpson trial of a new generation. It has all of the foolishness, all of the shenanigans, all of that stuff. The only problem is it is being live streamed as well as social media. Literally, social media is following this, every motion, everything going on like that. This is the O.J. Simpson trial. If O.J. Simpson trial happened now, happen in the social media era, I don't know which one would be wilder, but I'm telling you right now, this one is bona fide crazy. So that's why we go over it, because it's just so amazing. And I live here in Georgia, Tom. I live nowhere from where this is all happening right now. Matter of fact, fun fact, Young Thug doesn't stay in the Fulton County Jail. Young Thug, don't tell nobody, he actually stays in Cobb County. So they bring him to Cobb County because, why do you think they bring him to Cobb County? Because Fulton County Jail is a dumpster fire of a jail. So actually, for his safety, he actually stays in Cobb County. So he's only a few miles away from Dear Woke Christian right now. If he's been transported to jail, he's down the street around the corner from Whitaker Park. So that's how crazy this is. All right. So most people have figured it out. It was, I think her name is Kayla Bumpkins, who was the mole who told Brian Steele what was going on in this ex parte meeting that he was not invited to. They had a special party he wasn't invited to, and that's not acceptable in this day and age. So I thought for a while, I was thinking it was Woody, but I was like, how could Woody communicate with Brian Steele? Because Woody didn't have a communication path to Brian Steele, whereas Kayla did. So I kind of was, I was thinking it could have been him, but I was like, it's Kayla. And the reason she wanted to get fired and wanted to get put out was because she didn't want to be a part of this craziness. She saw it and was like, what in the world? This is crazy. So I think she saw it and was like, yo. But now I'm wondering if she asked Woody to fire her. Like, fire me. Yo, just tell the judge you don't want me to be your lawyer no more. Just tell him you don't want me to be your lawyer. I'm not saying she did it. I just wouldn't be surprised if she did. So let's go ahead and I don't want to go too far afield, but I hope that made sense, Tom. Hey, look, Tom, let me tell you right now, this thing right here is so out of control. And again, I live here in Georgia. I live down the street around the corner from Fulton County. I live in Cobb County. I'm aware of a lot of these places that they talk about. Newsflash, I used to teach at Cleveland Avenue Elementary School. I know where that McDonald's is that they're referring to. So I'm familiar with that side of town and so forth. So when they talk about these things, it's sad because I realize there's a lot of people that look like me. There's a lot of people there that need a lot of help. And to know that this gang potentially was just running roughshod all through there, doing all kinds of craziness, man. Woody seems to be the byproduct of a broken system. Let's just tell the truth, shame the devil. So let's go ahead and bring this in, and we'll talk about it. So let's go. Yo, there's going to be some funny. If you're not keeping up with this, you'll know what this conversation, you'll know why this statement is so funny. Anybody that's not familiar with the Young Thug, the YSL trial, because it is, I don't even know what to say. So let's bring it in. Let's go, AV. Thank you so much.
So I am objecting to the tactics of the Fulton County District Attorney's Office and whomever else they may have employed with a citizen, regardless of what the court may think of him, what the prosecutors think.
I don't have any thoughts. So please don't put that in. Please don't put that in in the ether. Okay, but that's what you just said, sir.
Ether is
okay.
Clear. The court wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it either. So why is it happening?
I have no interest other than I'm a referee.
Well, you're the referee who spoke with the witness without my presence.
Mr. Steele, we're not gonna get it.
Right there now. Okay, so this is last Monday. Okay, so this is how the week started with Brian Steele yelling at the judge that you're the referee that's meeting with the defendant meeting with the other side, the prosecution, without talking to me. This is going to be crazy.
You know about Lucci's mother's home being shot at.
What you mean?
Were you aware that Lucci's mother's home was shot at?
Huh?
A few moments later.
During the interview, were you able to give Mr. Investigator Thorpe your date of birth?
Huh?
Welcome back to the AV to the 7th Power channel, where we talk about all things law, crime, and a little bit of debauchery. Are you guys ready to talk about the dumpster fire that has become the YSL trial?
Please understand, dumpster fire is, I'm sorry, there's a lot of things in the world that you're like, man, that is crazy. That's a dumpster fire. If you're not familiar with the term dumpster fire, this right here will probably be put in by Merriam-Webster's dictionary or the Encyclopedia Britannica. When they use the term dumpster fire, they will just have a picture, YSL trial, because this is what it is.
Is your recap for the week. And before we go anywhere, please check out the sponsor of today's video, Aura. If you want to protect your data, your privacy, your credit, and stop robocalls, please check them out. You have a free 14-day trial using my code below. Let's get into it.
Shout out. Here it comes.
On Monday, the trial began with a dramatic turn when Young Thug's attorney, Brian Steele, was held in contempt of court. This decision by Chief Judge Glanville stirred up quite a controversy, with Steele facing the possibility of jail time. People in the legal community were outraged. To navigate this legal turmoil, Ashley Merchant from the Georgia Association of Criminal Defense Lawyers, GACDL, stepped in to defend Steele and quickly filed an appeal. GACDL's strike force, a group of attorneys, also showed up to the courthouse in support of Steele. 25 of them were not allowed in the courtroom.
Okay, so shout out to GACDL. I didn't know anything about this until really like yesterday or today. So GACDL is kind of like an association of lawyers that are specifically defense attorneys, because defense attorneys seem to run afoul of courts kind of often. So if it's word that, pre-K law student Jason is getting ready to get thrown in jail by Judge Bumblebee, they rush in. They come in, and that's why they call them a strike force. They literally, I don't know where they were, but they were there within 20 minutes. And Brian Steele's wife had already filed a motion to get a bond hearing within like 30 minutes. I have no idea how this works so fast, but they came rushing in such that if you watch earlier episodes, Judge Glanville is like, well, they can come and sit in the jury box here, or they can come sit in this courtroom, so on and so forth. And there was 25 attorneys out there in the lobby waiting to get in to cause I don't want to say cause havoc, but to give Glanville a piece of their mind. But let's go.
I was told based upon information and belief that when we arrived at 8:30, 9 o'clock today, we did not come into your courtroom until almost 11:30. And what I found out just recently, this is not waived, is that supposedly in chambers, this honorable court reporter at times, honorable court at times, district attorney or district attorneys from the DA's office, as well as investigators, sheriff deputies, Mr. Copeland and his counsel met together. None of the defense team, to my knowledge, was aware that this was going on. It was told, based upon information belief, that it was told to the district attorneys that Mr. Copeland intended to plead the Fifth Amendment. Then I was told, based upon information belief, that Adrian Love, the lawyer for Mr. Copeland and this court, were together, and Ms. Love made representations that John Melnick supposedly spoke with some attorneys for the accused and wrote an email to Ms. Love, to Adrian Love, stating that Mr. Melnick does not represent the witness, and that Mr. Melnick wrote an email saying F you.
What?
And then somehow that email was CC'd to me. That never.
Mr. Steele, can I interrupt you for just a second? I'm kind of disturbed because that's ex parte. All that was an ex parte conversation. How did you find out about any of that?
Well, I'm disturbed too. And the reason
I'm asking you a question. How did you find out about it?
I'm going to ask you the question.
Okay.
Scuttle, if you look at SCUDDER versus State, which is 298 Georgia, 438, it's Division 2, 782 Southeast 2D 638, 2016. Our highest court says when a court meets, because Mr. Copeland comes in, meets with the court supposedly made statements, which I assume is somewhat accurate based upon what you just said. We're entitled, Mr. Williams and every other person wrongly charged here is entitled under the Georgia Constitution to be present. That's a critical stage.
It's just like when you meet with me and you and Mr. Adams meet with me and others have met with me. It's those are ex parte for a lot of different other reasons, but I will certainly note that for purposes of record.
Well, I'm going forward. What I was told was that Mr. Copeland said,
and you haven't answered my question yet.
How did you answer that question?
You're not.
No, I will not answer that question.
Why will you not answer that question?
Because Brian Steele is the new YSL gang member. Brian Steele is not playing games with you, Judge Glanville. You done barked up the wrong tree, my guy. Brian Steele is not playing with you. He said he will tell only when he can use that information properly. He said, I ain't telling you nothing. Wait till he says I don't need 5 minutes. I'm telling you right now, that thing right there is hilarious. Let's go.
I want to make sure that what I say is accurate, and I'm not trying to.
No. I'm asking you, how did you get this information?
I'm not telling the court. What I'm saying is based on information.
Oh.
You got this information, then you and I are going to have some problems.
We can have this. I have problems right now.
Okay, I know. Look, I don't want to know about your problems. Okay, at this point in time, all I'm asking you at this point in time is, how did you come upon this information? Look, if the case gets reviewed, the record's going to be available for our appellate court and for whatever reason. But it's disturbing that somehow you have surreptitiously gotten information in regards to the court's private ex parte conversation with a party. I mean,
a witness who was sworn in Friday. The court's telling. This is what I was told. If this is not true, not true. This court handed Mr. Copeland.
Tell me how you got the information.
Listen, whatever you want to do.
Tell me how you got the information, then we can go ahead and go forward.
I'm not going to say that, but I'm going to.
Well, do y'all see the conflict? The judge wants the name.
Right.
Give me the name.
Says, tell me the name. Who told you? We can talk about anything you want afterwards, but tell me the name. Brian Steele said, I'm not going to tell you the name. Right? So this is the major conflict going on right now. Let's go.
Say is this. I was told, and I hope this concerns the court.
It concerns me that you have proprietary information.
Why is it
or
proprietary?
Information that you should not be having that was ex parte.
Why?
With a party.
Why?
State of Georgia.
How about the witness? How about Mr. Copeland, who supposedly announced he's not testifying and he'll sit for 2 years, and then supposedly this honorable court, or excuse me, let me rephrase that. This court supposedly said, I can hold you until the end of this trial. Ms. Hilton supposedly said, actually.
Notice how the prosecution, Ms. Hyatt, DA Love, and the other gentleman sitting next to him, notice how they're all keeping their heads down, trying to be quiet, because they do not want anybody asking them questions, because they know they were a part of that meeting and they know they are wrong as two left shoes. Now, when Brian Steele files his motion for Judge Glanville to be recused, he slams these three Mickey Mouses sitting right here. He slams them so hard, it's old school wrestling. It's the Undertaker taking you for the ride, 6.5 feet up and down. I mean, it is crazy. He says, y'all sat right there knowing that he was wrong, and y'all didn't even say anything to him. Y'all let him arrest me, and y'all did not even stand up. He dogged them out so bad. He drugged them. Brian Steele is savage. I don't care what nobody say. Free Brian.
All of the defendants, and then all 26 people are disposed of. If that's true, what this is.
Oh my God. So he has actual word for word. Actual word for word testimony of what was said in these secret meetings.
Wow.
Let's go.
He announced he's not testifying and he'll sit for 2 years. And then supposedly this honorable court, or excuse me, let me rephrase that. This court supposedly said, I can hold you until the end of this trial. Ms. Hilton supposedly said, actually, all of the defendants and then all 26 people are disposed of. If that's true, what this is coercion, witness intimidation,
look at
ex parte communications that we have a constitutional right
she knows
for.
She messed up.
So I understand that you're upset.
DA Love is right here in the white. Look at her. She know good and well that she wrong. She knows she wrong.
Towards me, but I don't know what I did.
Mr. Steele, I still want to know, how did you come upon this information? Who told you?
What I want to know is, why wasn't I there? Why,
sir? I'm going to hold you in contempt if you don't tell me who. Tell me who this information was
from. I don't
come
want to be
from.
held in contempt. Well, I'm not answering that question. That's attorney-client privilege information. I am not
attorney-client privilege unless you were in my chambers. That's the only way you can figure out. I tell you what, I'm going to give you 5 minutes. If you don't tell me, if you don't tell me who it is, I'm going to put you. I'm going to put you in contempt because that is not attorney-client privilege.
Attorney work product privilege. I am not.
How did you get that information supposedly from my chambers? Did somebody tell you?
I'm not. You should have told me.
Oh,
you got 5 minutes.
Well, oh my God. This is what I was told. Mr. Copeland made statements that he admitted to killing Donovan Thomas and was. Don't take my notes. No.
What?
And I'm not going to.
Do you have an attorney that's here for you, sir?
Here it comes.
Sure. Ashley Merchant is here. She's.
Ashley Merchant is who is Ashley Merchant? Now we all know who Ashley Merchant is. She is who does she represent in the Fani Willis thing?
She represented Michael Roman, the one that set in motion all of this.
Yes, but what you guys don't know is that Ashley Merchant is the president of GACTL, and she is representing Brian Steele. Brian Steele he's pretty much for right now the #1 criminal defense attorney in the state of Georgia. And he is being represented by Ashley Merchant. Oh man, this is going down. Let's go. This is getting good.
Ashley Merchant. Yeah, Ashley Merchant.
Oh, it's going down in the courtroom.
All right.
This court case, like I said, has gone well off the rails. If you were trying to get to Canada, let's just say now you are flying to the moon. That's how far off track this case has gone. It is, and this was only Monday. Please understand. Shout out to AV to the 7th power. We're looking at her review of last week just to bring everybody up to speed, because today it never stops. Today was another barn burner day. So we got to keep up in order we got to do extra innings, extra laps just to keep up. Let's go.
I have told your client, you represent Mr. Steele, is that correct? Yes. For the purposes of the contempt. I've entered the order. I've entered the contempt already.
Wow.
I'm entering the order. I'm about to enter the order. I've held him in contempt earlier from today's proceeding by him not telling me who it is he got this information from. I'm not asking him for any of the sum and substance of the communication. He's been disclosing that, however, and that's why I kind of want to know who told him that.
Who told you?
So if he tells me who it is that that disclose that to him, he will be able to purge himself of that contempt, and he's done. That's the only thing I'm asking for at this point in time. If not, then, as you well know, as a criminal contempt.
Okay, this is going to go. AV doesn't really dig into it as much. If you go back and watch this is a master class where Ashley Merchant explains to Judge Glanville, and I think also, I think the gentleman's name is Sharp. He has a long ponytail. They both explain to Judge Glanville that you can't turn something turn something criminal from being civil without there being a due process. And they explain it so well. I feel bad for him because I don't know where he was going, where he was thinking, but my goodness, in the morning, he messed up today. You're going to learn today, Glanville.
There's no superseded bond. There's no appeal. And I'm going to put him in custody for this evening.
But
and if he wishes to, which he can still purge if tonight Keith Adams emails me or you email me and tell me, well, it was X. So I'm going to give him as much flexibility to purge himself of this contempt. Only thing I want is, because of the way this information was disclosed, it is troubling to the court and is very.
And again, guys, for the new people coming in, what are we talking about? The judge was having secret meetings with the prosecutors. This is called ex parte communication. This is not allowed. And somehow these meetings got back to Brian Steele, who represents Young Thug. Brian Steele is pretty much the #1 criminal defense attorney in the state of Georgia. And he chastised the court and asked for a mistrial based on these secret communications. The judge said, forget all this secret communication stuff. Who told you? I want the name. And Brian Steele says, well, who cares who told me? You guys are having secret meetings. I was not available. I was not allowed. I was not invited. None of the defense counsel was invited. All of these defense attorneys were locked out of these secret meetings. And he wants to know, Brian Steele wants to know what the hell was going on in there and why are you having these secret meetings? The judge is like, I don't care about the secret meetings. Who told you? The judge put him in jail. The prosecutor was like, Judge, you got to let him out of jail because, well, I say jail. I'm talking about the holding tank in the courtroom. Yeah. The judge, the prosecutor said, if you don't let Brian Steele out to finish this trial, it's going to be a mess. So the judge let him out to finish the day. And the judge said, at the end of the day, if you haven't told me, you're going back into the holding cell and then you're going to jail. It is the end of the day now. It's about 6:08 in Atlanta. And the judge is saying, listen, secret meetings or not, you got to tell me who told you. Apparently the hallway in the courtroom is attached to a hallway. And outside the hallway, there are tons of attorneys protesting what the judge is doing, including Gachtel, which is the #1 criminal defense attorney association in the state. Ashley Merchant is the president of Gachtel, and she has been retained by Brian Steele to represent her. So she is in the courtroom now, and the judge says, hey, listen, tell me the name. If you don't tell me the name, you're going to jail until you tell me the name. I'm going to let you out as soon as you tell me who told you about my secret meetings. Let's go.
I didn't ask or inquire about anything that was said. I just want to know who it was. Because he's got too much detail
None of your business
of this particular alleged conversation for the court to be concerned about it. So,
and Judge, since it is a criminal contempt, he is entitled to due process. He's entitled to a hearing, entitled to an actual show cause, entitled to the allegations actually written, entitled to a witness list. We're entitled to present our own. Please
understand, she just said witness list. And when we go over tomorrow, Brian Steele's motion to recuse, he literally has Glanville, ADA Love, ADA Hilton, and somebody else on the prosecution as witnesses against themselves. This thing is crazy. This thing is bananas. I don't know. I need some sound. I need a crazy sound effect. I can't even understand this.
Criminal contempt is different. It is on the spot. So he's gotten the due process he's going to get. That's on the spot. I told him. Plus, he's had all day to tell me who it is that is it. So a little different.
And notice the judge said, you know, he knows too many details. He knows too many details of what was being said in these meetings. You know, it wasn't generalized. He knows specifics. How does he know who told you what about my secret meetings with the prosecutors against your client?
So these are Fani prosecutors too. Like that woman, Miss Love, is right there at the other side. She works for Fani Willis. So the fact that this is coming full circle.
Great point. This is a great point. Yes, all these people, these the two black women and on the left, I guess on the bottom of the screen, and the white man, these are the prosecutors prosecuting Young Thug. They have all been hand selected by Fani Willis. And now, as AV said, you have Ashley Merchant, who is kicking Fani Willis's butt up and down the street in the courtroom. So we have a family, a Fani Willis family reunion in Judge Glanville's courtroom. So let's go.
Ms. Merchant, I won't disagree with you, but
and Judge, just for the record, it's that's direct. So what you're holding him in is in direct criminal contempt.
Yes. Right.
The issue with the direct criminal contempt is whether or not to actually hold a hearing now, whether or not it needs to be held immediately. Right. And the problem is, if you hold him in direct criminal contempt, as you're saying that you did, you are a witness to that proceeding. And so it has to be referred to another judge. Doesn't require recusal. You actually have to sua sponte send it to another judge because you're a witness to the proceeding.
Show me the case law.
Go ahead. Yes, it is Henry McClarty.
And I'm just throwing my little 2 cents in here. Judge Glanville knew that he stepped in it by asking Ashley Merchant. This is their job. This is why she's here. She's a part of the strike force for Gatco. She's not just here because she was walking down the street on her way to get a Starbucks. She was literally here for this reason, this purpose. They do this. This is what they're about. This is why there was 25, maybe even up to 50 lawyers out in the gallery waiting to get in, because they don't put up with this mess. Like, for you to be like, sir, I'm not saying that a judge, look, because I don't know nothing, but I know when I'm out over my skis and I can say, yeah, I submit to a smarter individual. I'm going to roll with you, even though I'm in disagreement with you. He stepped all the way on this landmine.
Oh, she got the case.
She was ready.
Ashley is I don't want to say she's teaching Judge Glanville about criminal contempt. And this is messed up, guys, because Glanville, listen, I got a lot of respect for this man. And this case has really been a shit show, and we'll talk about all that. Judge Glanville, she's our chief judge. This man is the man. And Ashley Merchant is like, no, you held him in criminal contempt. You're doing it wrong. There is a procedure. And the judge is like, I don't believe you. Tell me the case. And Ashley's like, well, here's the case. Right. So let's go. This is getting deep, man.
As we just saw on the clip, Ashley Merchant argued beautifully and talked about the differences between contempt. There's civil contempt and there's criminal contempt. Civil contempt is the failure to obey a court order that was issued for another party's benefit. A civil contempt proceeding is coercive and remedial in nature. Criminal contempt, on the other hand, is an act that obstructs justice or attacks the integrity of a court. A criminal contempt proceeding is punitive in nature. On Tuesday, the witness known as Woody began his shenanigans. Woody was present at the controversial ex parte meeting. He fired his attorney who attended the meeting. The judge released her but mandated her to attend an order to show cause meeting scheduled for June 25th.
And that's next week. So y'all already know. Go on and order your popcorn from Popcorns R Us. Go ahead and get you some extra adult beverages or whatever you're drinking. Because this is going to be crazy. We got the rest of this week, which is definitely going to be bananas. And then next week, the 25th, we got a show cause meet. Man, come on. The best thing Georgia could have done was make these live streamed. That is it. Oh, my goodness. My goodness. Thank you very, very much. Real quick, before we go too far, let's say thank you so much to Terry Adams for the very gracious, very kind super chat. She says, this has Fani's prints all over it. Payoff? Do you think once on the stand, the judge, Love, and Hyatt want immunity or take the fifth? Love you, DWC. Love you too, Terry. Thank you so much. Y'all, thank Terry very much for supporting this channel and supporting me, what I'm doing here. I think that this is me. I'm going out on a limb. I think on tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow, Judge Glanville is going to recuse himself. I don't see any way possible for him to recover from this. When we go over that motion that Brian Steele uploaded right at the end of the day, he walked out the door and just threw a Molotov cocktail right over his shoulder, and it just lit the whole place up. That motion to recuse Judge Glanville is so scathing. I felt sorry for Judge Glanville. I was feeling in my heart a level of like, oh, bruh, you done messed up. I'm feeling bad for him. My heart going out to him like, dude, oh, man. So I think he's going to recuse himself. And if he recuses himself, all of this goes away. So I don't think that, now I could be wrong, but I'm sorry. I just don't, I can't see, there's no way in the world. No way. There's no way. It just doesn't make sense because, okay, like in this picture right here, like right here, the court reporter was there. She's a witness. Hyatt in the black, she was there. She's a witness. ADA Love was there. She's a witness. I don't know who this gentleman is, but if he was there, he's a witness. And this young lady right here in the olive colored top, she was there. She's a witness. Olive colored top. This is Miss Bumpkiss. She's already lawyered up. She already has a lawyer. And Brian Steele talks about it. So let's just say, just think about how ridiculous. Oh, I'm sorry. And Judge Glanville is in it. There's no way. This is going to be a lawyer dumpster fire of epic proportion. I think the only thing that makes sense, the only thing that's right is for Judge Glanville to recuse himself and let this go to another judge, or just outright attach double jeopardy and just call it a wrap. I'm sorry. There's no other way around it. It is this, and truthfully, and we kind of hinted on it, this is Fani Willis's DA office. So there's going to be a lot of blowback that happens. It really doesn't matter because the case was automatically, it was going to go up on appeal. It didn't matter. They could have found young thug guilty of not paying his third grade library fines at Bumblebee Elementary School. They was going to appeal it. It didn't matter. So yeah, this is bad. A lot of extra syllables. Let's finish up. Let's go.
Sir, Mr. Copeland, is it your desire to release your counsel at this point in time?
She's fired.
She's fired? Okay. So do you wish to represent yourself in these particular, in terms of any issues you may have in this particular?
Do I got a choice?
I'm sorry?
Do I got a choice?
Yes, you do.
And what are those?
Well, you can keep your lawyer that you have right now.
I don't want her.
All right. You could certainly hire another lawyer, or the court could appoint you a lawyer.
How you gonna do that, buddy?
Do what I need a lawyer for.
Huh?
What
No, it's just.
Don't do
court
it.
is just asking you whether it's your choice, sir.
I'm good.
You're
Don't
good?
represent
Ms.
yourself.
Bumpus, did you file an entry of appearance? All right. Did you, under the Uniform Superior Court rules, file a motion to withdraw pursuant to the Uniform Superior Court rules? I mean, I know you give an oral notice, but usually it has to be in writing, and he has 10 days to object.
Just for the record,
Say again.
I was never his counsel. Attorney Melnick was his counsel, and I was stepping in as a courtesy for judicial efficiency.
Man, can you imagine that?
But if the court's desire for me to file a motion to withdraw,
Oh my God.
Well, given the fact that you have represented Mr. Copeland at this point in time, it would seem appropriate that you do need to, in fact, file a formal withdrawal. Even though you didn't enter one, you de facto entered this case by your representation of him, or you telling the court that you did, in fact, represent him. So at this point, I'm not inclined to release you until that's done.
I'll get that done now, Judge.
Okay. All right. And he's got 10 days to go ahead and do that. So you're still going to have to be here until I have because he gets that particular period of time to go ahead and decide whether or not he'd like to hire a lawyer. That's the whole reason for the 10 days.
Well, I don't want to hire no.
Hold on.
Why does he get a free lawyer though?
You get that right
witness
as a party. Okay.
I get right.
You do. Yes. You get that right to hire a new lawyer. You get the right to do a couple things. One, to decide whether or not you will release her.
Okay.
Okay. 2, you got to decide whether or not you want to get another lawyer to be with you.
Okay.
Okay. Those are the 2 big things you get a chance to kind of decide. But what I'm going to do at this point in time is, since she's representing you, I'm going to make her file a formal notice to withdraw. She's orally told you at this point in time she wants to withdraw, but you're on the stand, you're testifying at this point in time. So I'm not going to let her withdraw at this point.
Well, Your Honor, I just like to say, before he started testifying, I was fired.
I don't know that, ma'am. That's not something that I have notice or knowledge of. So,
Oh, no.
that's the whole purpose of the rule, so that we can flesh out all those things. So at this point in time, I'm not inclined to let you go at this point. I'm sorry that you put yourself in this particular situation with you and Mr. Melnick and whatever, but, Mr. Copeland does have rights in this particular circumstance. So file a proper notice to withdraw. I'll give once it's filed, if you file it today, I'll give Mr. Copeland the 10 days, but until such time as I rule upon that and he gets that and gets an opportunity to think about what he'd like to do, I'll go ahead and insist that you remain with us while he's on the stand.
Okay, Judge.
Okay.
That's a really messed up
Madam, I
ruling.
have one bit of business.
Can I approach, Your Honor, with the state?
No.
Wow. Wow.
What does he want to tell me?
I don't want to say it in open court.
It's about the meeting.
She was about to tell you.
It's about the meeting.
It could be about the meeting. AB could be exactly right. Well, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it absolutely could be. I don't know if this is the attorney that was at the meeting, because
yes, this is.
She said that she was covering for somebody else, though.
Yeah, Melnick.
She said that she was there as a courtesy. Isn't that what she said in the beginning?
Yeah, but a while ago, she was there.
Or was she the one at the meeting?
Yeah, I think this is who Brian was protecting, because she's standing in for someone else. Look at his body language.
Yeah, look at
it was her.
Again.
It was her. I'm calling it. It was her.
All right, state Ms.
AB is calling it. AB's calling it. Like, hey, man.
Now he's letting them approach. 2 opposing sides, defense and prosecution. Only these 2 people were in that room. Not only these 2 people were in that room yesterday.
Yeah,
I don't know who this guy is.
The judge really, I don't think the judge is following the law.
And I don't believe you have the right to be present, sir.
If I try to fire a client, AB, you could be exactly right, because they're not allowing the defense counsel up there.
I knew it.
Wow.
Shout out to me.
I don't believe you have the right to be present, sir.
Ooh.
State objection forever. I do think we have right to be present, and I think there's case law to that effect. I want to object.
Okay, do me a favor. Pay attention to this woman in the green, the dark green, and how she's looking at the woman in the olive green top. I'm gonna back up just a little smidgen. Just look at her, just watch her body language toward her.
She said that she was there as a courtesy. Isn't that what she said in the beginning?
This is crazy.
Yeah, but a while ago, she was there.
Shout out to
was she the one at the meeting?
Yeah, I think this is who Brian was protecting, because she's standing in for someone else. Look at his body language.
Yeah, look at
it was her. It was her. I'm calling it. It was her.
All right, state Ms.
AB is calling it. AB's calling it. Like, hey, man.
Now he's letting them approach.
Look at her face.
2 opposing sides, defense and prosecution. Only these 2 people were in that room. Not only these 2 people were in that room yesterday.
Yes. And the judge really, I don't think the judge is following the law.
And I don't believe you have the right to be present, sir.
If I try to fire a client,
watch love right here. Look at she's trying to get closer.
AB, you could be exactly right, because they're not allowing They're not allowing the defense counsel up there.
I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. Shout out to me.
I don't believe you have the right to be present, sir.
Ooh.
State objection for the record.
Look at love. Look at love. Trying to get over there to Kayla. Look at her making this, shaking her head at her. You know you shouldn't have said that. Girl, did you say something to him?
On the grounds that we are now being excluded from a conversation.
Yep. Yep. Better object.
This is crazy.
Prosecution, state versus the non-dependent, and material witness. Conversation to help out material witness. And a conversation between the court and that counsel for that witness. And the state, you're now conducting a meeting with the court without the ability for me as the attorney for the defense in our case to be present and knowledgeable about those conversations. And I think that that ex parte communication creates an appearance
of impropriety.
I say this with tremendous reservation, and I almost want to apologize for saying it.
Yeah.
I think it creates appearance of impropriety and bias on the part of this court. I don't mean to suggest Your Honor is doing that, but it creates the appearance of it. So I have to check.
Okay.
This is another secret meeting.
This is a secret meeting in front of everybody.
Go, Brian.
YSL Brian.
Constitution also denies Mr. Williams his right to a critical stage of the proceeding.
Wow.
Sorry, Your Honor, if I could just add to that for the record. I'm going to cite to the Uniform Spirit Court Rule 4.1.
Ooh, they're going on ethics.
This type of communication. I'll cite to
This is
the Georgia Code of Judicial Conduct Rule 4.4.
Yep.
Prohibits this type of communication.
Wow.
The court, several cases which I can support that. First is Monday versus Magnolia Advanced Materials, which is 815 Southeast 2nd 70.
The attorney is citing cases.
He had it ready.
Know why the judge is not allowed to do this under case law and under statute.
He just got caught. I have model rules of professional ethics up.
Yeah.
2.9.
1976 case.
Oh my God.
Not attempt to intimidate witnesses testify on behalf of the state either in or out of the presence of the jury. And it also creates a presumption that the court should have to recuse itself. This is Perjury versus state, and that's 319 Georgia Act 432.
He just said the court should recuse itself because of the appearance of bias.
I mean, he not lying.
Oh, these attorneys are getting in this judge's ass for this secret meeting.
That's exactly what it looks like. You let them up. So that proves that it was her.
He said, he sent them back. Like, never mind. We can't have a meeting.
Wow, the judge said,
yeah,
fuck the meeting. I just
wanted to be given an opportunity to be able to respond to that on the
judge
record.
said, fuck the meeting.
And to point out that
wow,
the distinction between the assertions by counsel for the defendants and what is going on here, and the assertion being made that a trial judge should not intimidate or coerce a witness.
Okay, real quick. I'm going to stop real quick because I already know what happens. So remember what ADA Love is saying right here, where she's saying, the judge didn't intimidate a witness. There was no coercion, blah, 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 blah. When we go over Brian Steele's motion to recuse Judge Glanville, please note how Brian Steele masterfully dismantles this shenanigans that ADA Love is doing right here.
Actually, can we?
Yeah, hold on a second. Mr. Can I get you to step outside for just a second? Let me finish this argument, please, sir. Mr. Copeland?
Well, you want me to go out?
Yeah, just step outside in the vestibule if you wouldn't mind, sir, please. Thank you.
The judge doesn't even want the judge doesn't want him to hear it. He could be the mole.
He could
be the mole.
He fired his lawyer this morning.
Yes. Y'all see Lil Woody's face?
Wow.
Y'all remember y'all used to cough in 2020, 2021, it was that COVID. Look at Woody's face when the judge called. It's a COVID.
Given the fact that somebody came down with COVID in there today, that is kind of funny.
164 Echo Hotel and 164 Echo.
Get back.
Oh my word.
Dramatic.
He about to pull the coat. Look, she running too. Black women will run. Wow. Says the court having been presented with an issue of contempt for determination. All individuals that were present for the secret meeting that took place in the court's chambers on the morning of June 10th, just yesterday, specifically, to include the witness, Mr. Keith Copeland, aka Lil Woody, his attorney, Miss Kyla Bumpus, and all representatives of the state and court security personnel that were in attendance are hereby ordered to show cause before the Honorable Chief Judge Glanville on the 25th day of June 2024, 9 a.m. courtroom 1C, 185 Central Ave, Atlanta, Georgia. Why one or more of them should not be held in contempt for disclosing the information from the secret meeting to members of the defense counsel. Oh my God.
He's going to put them all in contempt
my
if
God.
they don't snitch on who the rat was.
Oh my God. He wants a name. He sentenced Brian Steele to the max, 20 days incarcerated.
He is wilding.
He couldn't get a name.
Out.
Now he's getting all of the people in the secret meeting together. Guys, is this not messed up? What about Jeffery Williams? This has nothing to do with Young Thug.
And nothing
He
more.
wants to find out who the mole is. And he says it's to find out why one or more of all of them should not be held in contempt for disclosing the information. It is further ordered that the failure of any individuals who were present for the June 10th secret meeting will cause the court to direct the Fulton County Sheriff's Office to take them into custody immediately and bring them to the bar of this court. So if they don't show up, the sheriff's office is going to find them and bring them to court.
That's why he was smooth for the rest of the day. Y'all notice that he was quiet?
Yes, this is crazy, guys. Signed the Honorable Glanville Chief Judge. Man, he is gonna, y'all thought it was over. That's what the judge said. Y'all thought it was over. Y'all thought he won. Y'all thought Brian won. Y'all thought I wasn't gonna get a name, didn't you?
All right, so let's keep it moving.
Wednesday, of course, we saw more Woody shenanigans. In fact, Woody was such a difficult witness. Individuals in the courtroom saw the prosecutor questioning him, Christina Hilton, crying during breaks.
Ready?
I don't know.
You have hair on your head when you take the picture?
What you
When you
trying
took the picture?
He's like, what you trying to say?
It's crazy. This is crazy. This is insane.
Did y'all see his face?
I ain't got no hair on my head. And I know I don't.
Oh my God.
You're like, what are y'all saying? Lee, did you have hair on your head when you did what you trying to say?
What's happening?
Did y'all see that? Hold on, we gotta rewind that. He was about to get up. What? He was about to start throwing hands. Like, watch his expression, guys.
Yeah.
He took offense. He took that personally. Watch his.
Okay, go ahead.
Hell no, let's go.
How old were you all when you took this picture?
I don't know.
You have hair on your head when you take the picture?
What you
When you
trying?
took the picture.
What you trying to say?
I'm sorry.
It look like I got hair on my head.
How
Oh my God. I'm trying to keep it in. Count to 10, Woody. Count to 10.
Count to 10.
What you trying
I
to
got out of prison.
So this is before you went into prison.
It's an old picture.
And that's what I need to know.
What do you got in
Thank
his
you very
mouth?
much.
Tensions escalated as the defense attorneys filed a motion for Judge Glanville to recuse himself from the case, which was denied. In a significant development, the Supreme Court of Georgia granted Brian Steele a supersedis bond, preventing him from being jailed. The appeal has been stayed until the conclusion of the trial.
What are we looking at? It says in the Superior Court of Fulton County, state of Georgia, the courthouse is right down the street. State of Georgia versus Diamante Kendrick. Motion to recuse Chief Judge Earl Glanville. Oh my God. They're trying to get him off of the case. Why? What did he do? Let's take a look at it. He says the defendant, Mr. Diamante Kendrick, by and through undersigned counsel without waiving any rights, files this motion to recuse Chief Judge Glanville from continuing to preside over the present case and request that the present trial be temporarily halted until the present motion is heard by another judge of this superior court consistent with the uniform rules. It is vital to the functioning of the courts that the public believe in the absolute integrity and impartiality of its judges. And judicial recusal serves as the linchpin for the underlying proposition that a court should be fair and impartial. The present case involves a 65-count racketeer influence and corrupt organization indictment against 28 individuals. Jury selection in this case began in January of 2023.
Wow.
Guys, 2023 is when this case started. And with the jury trial beginning in November 2023, given that the state has presented less than half of its current witness list, which the state has announced would be increasing based on circumstances, this trial should last well into the year 2025. The 6 defendants presently on trial, including Mr. Kendrick, have been denied a bond and incarcerated for over 2 years. The central figure, perhaps a central figure, perhaps the central figure in the state's case is Kenneth Copeland, aka Lil Woody. He's the star witness, guys. On Friday, June 7th, last week, Lil Woody was sworn in. Despite being, can y'all see that? Hold on, let me see if I can make it.
Yeah, zoom a little bit. Mm-hmm.
Is that a little bit better? Squeeze it in there.
I can see.
Looks good. Feed it in.
Right? Despite being warned by Chief Judge Glanville that incarceration may be the result of refusing to testify after being given a grant of immunity, Lil Woody refused to testify on that day. Lil Woody was ordered incarcerated by Chief Judge Glanville. And Chief Judge Glanville instructed Lil Woody and all parties that Lil Woody would be returned to court on Monday, this past Monday, guys, where Lil Woody would announce whether he was prepared to testify. On Monday, all defense counsel were present in the Fulton County Courthouse around 8:30, admitted entrance into courtroom 1C, and seated within by 9 a.m. Defense counsel waited and waited and waited Between 11 a.m. and 11:30, Chief Judge Glanville took the bench and announced that Copeland was prepared to testify. So the judge told everybody that the court was going to start at 9. Everybody was waiting at 9 for hours. The judge didn't start the case until 11. Attorney Brian Steele, counsel for defendant Young Thug, inquired with the court as to the delay and what had occurred prior to Chief Judge Glanville taking the bench. His inquiry was not accepted. And guys, what was happening during those 2 hours? What was happening? The secret meeting. That happened on Monday. The secret meeting. All the judges were in, all the attorneys were waiting in the courtroom. The judge was in a secret meeting with Little Woody, Little Woody's attorney, the state, the prosecution, and they were trying to force Little Woody to testify. Unknown to any member of defense counsel during the waiting period in the morning, upon information and belief, a secret meeting was held in Chief Judge Glanville's chambers on that Monday, June 10th. The meeting comprised of Glanville, the judge, Assistant District Attorney Love, Assistant District Attorney Hilton, other members of the Fulton County District Attorney's Office, deputies, sworn witness Little Woody, and Little Woody's attorney, Miss Bumpkus. No members of the defense counsel was present at the secret meeting, despite the subject matter of the meeting being a critical phase of the trial. Upon information and belief, neither Chief Judge Glanville nor any member of the court staff nor the Fulton County District Attorney's Office made any member of defense counsel aware of the secret meeting, either before the secret meeting was held, during the secret meeting, or after the secret meeting. Little Woody briefly testified prior to a lunch recess. One or more members of defense counsel were later made aware of the secret meeting with sworn witness Little Woody and made aware of at least some of the content and subject matter of the secret meeting. Upon information and belief, the following events occurred at the secret meeting with sworn witness Little Woody in the judge's chambers. All right, let's see.
Here we go.
Have been said. The sum and substance of the secret meeting. Are y'all ready? Let's take a look.
Let's go.
Upon information and belief, Little Woody announced that he would invoke his Fifth Amendment rights and not testify. Upon information and belief, Little Woody stated that he would sit in jail for 2 years rather than testify against Young Thug. Chief Judge Glanville informed Little Woody that the judge would keep sworn witness Little Woody incarcerated until additional defendants were tried, not just the 6 defendants currently on trial. This is crazy, guys. Listen, so many defendants right now in the courtroom. There's 6 defendants.
6, yeah.
But there are other defendants to this case as well. Yes. They have just been separated. Their case has been severed. So they are kind of waiting on this case to shake out. The judges said, Lil Woody, if you don't testify, not only am I going to keep you in jail until the end of this trial, which is expected to take until 2025, but once the 6 people in this courtroom are done, we're going to bring some more people in, and you are going to sit until those people's trials are done.
Oh my gosh, that is coercion.
That is a threat.
Yes, absolutely, AV. You are exactly right. That is coercion. that is witness intimidation, and it is being done by the judge.
Which is crazy.
Can you believe the judge is trying to force the state's key witness to testify against Young Thug? What if you found out that you were on trial and the judge is trying to force somebody to testify against you? This is outrageous. Upon information and belief, after the judge told Little Woody he would keep Little Woody in jail, incarcerated until the other defendants were tried.
Real quick. The idea of keeping somebody in jail for an indefinite period of time is such nasty work. What I mean by that is why I'm saying that is because here in Fulton County right now, there are better than 200 people that have been held in Fulton County Jail for longer than a year without being indicted, without a trial. How many people are in there like this, where literally they're just waiting for a trial to get finished so they can be really, like they're being held in contempt? How many of them are like that? Something this juvenile, this petty, I don't know how Glanville recovers from this. I have no idea. I don't think there's any way possible for Glanville to recover from this. But I appreciate, there's 130 of y'all watching this. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for adding your input into the live chat. Go on in the live chat real quick and just tell everybody who you are. Just go ahead and say hi, even if you didn't want to say anything. Just go ahead and say hi. They're nice folk in there. This is the best live chat on this side of the planet. Let's go.
District Attorney Love or Hilton informed Little Woody that there were over a dozen defendants left to trial.
Wow. That's why he's mad.
Yes. They could have had Little Woody sitting in jail 2027, easily. 2028. Who knows how long all of these people are going to take? All because Little Woody doesn't want to testify. Do y'all see them threatening Little Woody?
Threatening him.
Upon information and belief, following the above coercive actions by Judge Glanville in conjunction with one or more attorneys from the DA's office, sworn witness Lil Woody stated at the secret meeting that he would testify. Oh my God. Oh my, they broke him.
They broke Woody.
They broke him. Little Woody said, I'm not going to testify. Put 2 years on me. The judge is like, 2 years? Oh, 2 years? That's not enough. That's not enough. After this case gets resolved, which might take 2 years, we're going to bring some more defendants. And then the prosecutor was like, yeah, we got 12 more defendants. This is going to take years off your life. You can testify right now, Woody. Woody, piensa, think. We're in the courtroom already. Well, you're in my chambers. We're in the courthouse. The jury is here. The attorneys are here. Why do you want to spend 4 years of your life in jail? Why do you want to spend 4, 5, 6 years of your life incarcerated? Just testify, Woody. That's all you got to do.
That's so bad for a judge to do.
Sickening. So they're all ganging up on him. The judge is saying, I'm sorry, this is aggravating me. The judge is saying, Woody, just testify, man. You're already right here. Don't spend 4 years of your life incarcerated. The DA's office, just testify. What did Woody say in the end?
I plead the fifth.
I'll testify. Oh my God. Woody said they broke him.
They broke Woody.
He did not want to testify against Young Thug. They threatened him with multiple years of incarceration. And the judge is doing this.
The judge did it. That's
the judge is doing this. This is insanity. Upon information and belief, Chief Judge Glanville also presented sworn witness Little Woody with a printout of the perjury statute and they got the details of this. Wow.
This is crazy.
The judge presented Woody with a printout of the perjury statute and the false statement statute in the secret meeting. Little Woody stated to ADA Hilton that if called to testify, he would simply lie on the stand. In response to Little Woody's statement that he would lie, ADA Hilton said that she would not prosecute sworn witness Little Woody if he were to lie on the stand. Wow.
Wow.
So Little Woody says, okay, y'all want me to testify? Fine, I'm a lie. What's the problem with lying, guys, when you're sworn in as a witness? There's a word for it. What's it called when you lie on the stand? It starts with a P, right?
It's perjury.
It's a crime. Don't you know the ADA looked at Lil Woody and said, if you commit a crime, we ain't gonna prosecute you. We ain't gonna prosecute you. Just do the best you can. And all this is said in the judge's chambers. Imagine a prosecutor whose sole job is to prosecute saying, no, we're not gonna prosecute you on this one. Just testify for us. Upon information and belief, Little Woody also stated to ADA Hilton, and again, guys, ADA Hilton, that's the black woman who was crying. ADA Hilton is the one who's been direct examining Woody all day long. And Woody was getting the best of her. And shout out to Infamous Sylvia, who was in the courtroom. Infamous Sylvia said that she saw Attorney Hilton break down crying because she couldn't get Little Woody to say what she wanted to say. And she got overwhelmed. The whole world is watching. And this woman, Hilton, she's an attorney. She's smart. She passed the bar. She has a law degree. Little Woody might not even have a GED. And Little Woody is getting the best of her. How embarrassing. Oh, ADA Hilton told Little Woody that she's not going to prosecute him if he lies. Little Woody also told ADA Hilton, the woman that broke down crying today, that he would testify that he killed Donovan Thomas Jr. Who is this peanut? So the whole thing, they want Donovan. There's a guy called Donovan, AKA Nut. Right. They want to pin Nut's murder on Young Thug. Little Woody was like, if y'all want me to testify, I'll say I did it. I did it. And he said he would do it in front of the judge and in front of the prosecution. No one told the defense attorneys. No one.
That's terrible. This is so corrupt.
This is really so bad. Upon information and belief, in response to Little Woody's stating to Attorney Hilton that he would testify that he killed Nut, Hilton told Little Woody that she would prosecute him for perjury if he testified that he killed Thomas. Wait a minute. First, this attorney who broke down crying said that she would not prosecute Little Woody if he were to lie on the stand. But when Little Woody said that he would lie on the stand about the murder of Nut, then ADA Hilton was like, oh, we're going to prosecute you for that.
Right.
We're going to prosecute you for that. We need this murder to be on Young Thug. We don't need this murder to be on you. You can lie about whatever you want, but you better not lie about this murder. This murder belongs to Young Thug.
That's crazy.
And if you get up there, and I'm going to ask you, if you get up there and you say that you murdered Nut, we are going to prosecute you. What happened today? ADA Hilton got up there and said, Lil Woody, you know Nut was murdered. Yeah.
Did you kill him?
Lil Woody, did you murder Nut?
He said no.
I don't think I did. I don't think I did. That's what he said. I don't, that doesn't seem like something I would do. Do y'all see the pressure that this man has been put on in front of the judge, in the judge's office? This is outrageous. Upon information and belief. Oh, so all right, we already did that. So, okay. So During court on the afternoon of June 10th, 2 days ago.
Shout out to James
when
Wealthy.
One or more of the above allegations were presented to the court by Attorney Steele, Judge Glanville denied that one or more events above relayed to him were accurate. The judge must cease to act and must make an immediate determination. When a trial judge is presented with a recusal motion and an accompanying affidavit, 1, 2, 3, 4 words with an A, the judge must temporarily cease to act on the merits of the case and determine immediately whether the motion is timely, whether the affidavit is legally sufficient, and whether the affidavit sets forth facts that, if proved, would warrant the assigned judge's recusal from the case. The present motion for recusal is being timely submitted to the court. This motion being filed and presented to the court in a timely manner, Uniform Superior Court Rule 25 governs recusals. Motions to recuse, along with accompanying affidavits, are required to be submitted to the presiding judge no later than 5 days after the affiant learns of the alleged grounds of disqualification.
They were like within 2 days.
What is this saying right here? This is saying right here, guys, that when you find out that the judge fucked up, you only have 5 days to submit a motion for the judge to get kicked off the case. You can't wait 2 months or 3 months. You have 5 days. Such submission shall be submitted no later than 10 days prior to the hearing or trial, which is the subject of recusal, unless good cause is shown for failure to meet the time requirements. Given that the most recent incident demanding recusal just occurred on June 10th, a 2-day period elapsing from the incident requiring recusal to the filing of the present motion is good cause. So they're saying right here, we only waited 2 days. So we're in
48 hours.
So this motion is not late. This motion is timely filed. What's next? The present motion includes a sufficient affidavit demonstrating the need for recusal. An accompanying affidavit by Douglas Weinstein, who is one of the attorneys, with evidence for recusal has been filed and is now presented which fully asserts facts upon which this motion is founded. A review of the Weinstein affidavit shows that it clearly states facts and reasons for the belief that bias or prejudice exists. The Weinstein affidavit is specific with respect to time, place, persons, and circumstances, which demonstrate bias in favor of the state that prevents impartiality in the present case. The particulars of the Weinstein affidavit are provided above and need not be presented again here in detail, but lays out alleged actions of Glanville, the chief judge, in conjunction with the state with respect to Little Woody in the secret meeting. Recusal is warranted based on the facts alleged in the Weinstein affidavit. The facts alleged in the Weinstein affidavit must be assumed to be true when deciding whether recusal would be warranted. The details learned by Weinstein detail the holding of an improper secret meeting conducted with Little Woody, which violated the constitutional and statutory rights of Kendrick, including the right to due process and a fair trial. The secret meeting with Little Woody was in violation of at least Section 2.9 of the Georgia Code of Judicial Conduct. What is that? What is the Georgia Code of Judicial Conduct? Let's see what it says. assuring fair hearings and averting ex parte communications provides. Let's go down to 3. Judges shall accord to every person who has a legal interest in a proceeding the right to be heard according to law. Judges shall not initiate, permit, or consider secret meetings.
Right.
This is crazy. This is the law, guys. This is so insane. Let's keep going. Judicial conduct, which assures every person, including persons such as Mr. Kendrick, of a fair trial. Ex parte secret meeting communications are presumed to have been in error. Rule 211 in the revised Georgia Code says generally that judges shall disqualify themselves in any proceeding in which their impartiality may be reasonably questioned, followed by a non-exclusive list of specific situations in which recusal is required. The standard is an objective one. The facts must be considered from the perspective of a reasonable person rather than from the perspective of interested parties or their lawyers, or from the subjective perspective of the judge.
Wow.
What are they saying here? They're saying, listen, guys, listen.
You messed up.
In order for a judge to be recused, you have to use a reasonable person standard to see if there's any type of bias, any type of favoritism, any type of prejudice.
Right.
The judge is saying, I know what happened in that secret meeting. So you guys are fine. Y'all don't have to worry about that. What does the statute say? It's not about what the judge thinks is fine. It's about what an objective, reasonable person would think.
Correct.
What do you guys think? Do you think it shows bias or favoritism or prejudice or partiality for the judge and the district attorney to gang up on Lil Whitty and coerce him to testify?
It's crazy.
Do you think that's fair? The judge is saying, I was in the meeting, guys. You're making a mountain out of a molehill. Maybe the details will come out. Don't worry about it. What you need to worry about is getting me the name of the person who disclosed the secret meeting. I want a name. Judge Glanville wants the name of the person who told he wanted to keep this secret meeting what?
A secret.
Secret. Somebody in the meeting spilled the beans. The judge suspects it is Little Woody's attorney, Miss
Bumpkiss.
Bumpkiss.
Yeah. Am I saying it?
Interesting. So the judge is saying, guys, I was there. Don't worry about it. Everything's fine. It'll come out in the end. The statute doesn't say that. It's not what you think, Judge. It's what a reasonable person in the chat would think. All right. We're using the chat standard.
There we go. The chat. There we go.
Furthermore,
do y'all think that's fair?
Judge Glanville should not have coerced.
What do y'all think? Do y'all think? I think I know what y'all would think. But in the chat, let me know. What do y'all think? Would you think that this is fair that the judge, the prosecutor ganged up on Lil Woody, on Kenneth Copeland, and told him what he needs to do? Put it in the chat. Let me know what you think. Let's go.
Little Woody to testify. The law says that a trial judge should not attempt to intimidate a witness to testify on behalf of the state, either in or out of the presence of the jury. Well, goddamn. This sounds exactly like what Judge Glanville did. Right? The law said, it can't really be any clearer, guys. The law says a trial judge should not attempt to intimidate a witness to testify on behalf of the state. What the hell?
He did.
Judge was like, I'll lock you up for years. Just go on and testify. That is intimidation and coercion. And here's the thing. Here is the thing. The judge was not trying to get Little Woody to testify for Young Thug. The judge was not trying to get little Woody to testify for Shannon Stillwell. The judge was not trying to get little Woody to testify for Demise. The judge was trying to get little Woody to testify for the state. For the prosecution. Yes. Yes.
If anybody's supposed to be impartial, he is. So you have favoritism on the prosecutor side. You have coercion of a witness. You have keeping this away from the defense attorneys.
Oh my gosh.
There's probably like at least 6 issues with what he did.
And then everything else, just to add to it, all the things that have happened in the past start to make sense now. Like him yelling at Brian Steele, him going to bat for ADA Love. All these kind of things like that start to, again, even if he didn't do it to be on the prosecution's team, it sure doesn't sound any other way.
100%. You are so right, AV.
And we're not even halfway through this document yet.
Because this is crazy. Somebody, who sent this to me? Shout out to Sarah. Somebody write Sarah in the damn chat. God damn.
What time did she send it?
Sarah sent this to me at 4:49.
Wow, yeah, because it shows that it was filed at 3.
You guys are on it, man. Y'all are game. All right. Y'all are some detectives in here. All right, let's keep going. So again, what does it say? A trial judge should not attempt to intimidate a witness to testify on behalf of the state. This is exactly what they did. As the Georgia Supreme Court wrote, we need not decide whether such bias or impartiality actually existed, because judges are ethically bound to disqualify themselves whenever their impartiality might be reasonably questioned, including instances where the judge's behavior could indicate that he or she has a personal bias or prejudice concerning a party or a party's lawyer. What are they saying right here? We don't have to show, judge, that you actually are biased. We don't have to show that you lack impartiality. We just have to show that it seems like your impartiality might be reasonably questioned. We just have to show that, there's an odor of mendacity.
I knew it.
There's an odor. I don't see anything, but I smell it. Right? We don't have to prove it. We just have to show that. What's that?
Go ahead. Finish that thought. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just thinking about when he denied this motion.
Mm-hmm.
He hardly let the attorney get this out, right? He kept cutting him off, and he said, oh, it's about a ruling. You can't just, what you're supposed to do is if you just disagree with the ruling that I made, that's when I need to recuse myself.
Right.
Right. Yeah. So that thought just came to mind, because now that we're analyzing the document ourselves, we actually see that this attorney had word for word verbatim, not word for word, but at least what actually happened in that secret meeting. Glanville didn't let him get any of this out.
You're exactly right. Glanville did not want, because what happens, guys, in a courtroom, there's a little white lady, and what she's doing, she's taking down everything. And Glanville did not want that attorney talking. And just like AV said, every time that attorney opened his mouth, Glanville was like, oh. And the attorneys were like, well, oh. And the attorney, well, what about, oh.
And he told him to be very careful.
Yes. Glanville did not want the white lady taking down what the attorney was saying. Glanville wanted to silence that attorney. He did not want that attorney to be allowed to make a record. Right? This is terrible. Let's keep it going. Defendants were not provided notice of the hearing either before, during, or after. And regardless, this is the thing, regardless, defendants should have been afforded an opportunity to attend any hearing where a sworn witness in a critical stage of trial is being coerced to testify. The only logical conclusion to be drawn by the willful exclusion of all defense counsel from the secret meeting, that contained Chief Judge Glanville, the state, and Little Woody, was to harass and intimidate little Woody into testifying. You know what's interesting here? They're not mentioning little Woody's attorney. Because
they're not. But I wonder if that's in the affidavit. Did Sarah send you the affidavit too?
I don't know. We'll take a look at it.
Okay.
Given the facts as alleged, given that the facts as alleged must be assumed to be true, the Weinstein affidavit is sufficient, and that recusal would be authorized under the alleged facts. Another judge should be assigned to hear this motion to recuse. Wherefore, Mr. Kendrick respectfully submits that the present motion meets all requirements, and this motion should be assigned to another judge for consideration. In the alternative, should this court deny the requested relief in this motion to recuse, Mr. Kendrick requests that this court make specific factual findings and submits that Judge Glanville should voluntarily recuse himself. Should the court take neither of the above actions, Mr. Kendrick moves this court for a mistrial.
Woo!
Due to the ongoing bias of the court as evidenced in the Weinstein affidavit, and on the basis that Mr. Kendrick is not receiving a fair trial as his constitutional right of due process and under the Sixth Amendment. Should all of the above requested relief be denied, Mr. Kendrick requests a certificate of immediate review. What is a certificate of immediate review? It allows you to file an interlocutory appeal.
And you know
what is an
interlocutory
interlocutory
means.
appeal? Guys, usually when you appeal anything in a trial, you have to wait to the end.
Yep.
But in Georgia, we have a process, and really in most states, in different states call it different things. But in Georgia, we call it an interlocutory appeal, where you don't have to wait until the end of trial. You can appeal something in the middle of trial. What's the problem?
It stops the trial.
The problem is that the judge has to give you permission. And that permission is called a certificate of immediate review. When the attorney was standing up in court talking about this motion, he said, "Judge, I filed this motion." Judge was like, we ain't gonna do nothing with the motion. The attorney finally was like, "Fine. Give me a certificate of immediate review. Let me appeal this now." The judge was like, "Ninja, you crazy. You crazy. I ain't giving you shit."
Whoa.
He said it's denied, and you can wait to the end of this case to file an appeal.
AV is so right. The judge said you could wait to the end of the case. What's the problem at the end of the case? It's probably going to be fall or winter of 2025. Look at all the bias. Look at all the prejudice. Look at all the corruption. This is insanity. Signed this day. Is it the 12th? This was today. Today, Douglas Weinstein. All right.
On Thursday, Brian Steele made serious accusations against the prosecution, alleging witness coercion and requesting a mistrial. This added a layer of complexity to the ongoing legal battle.
I would like the court to look into the appropriateness. Mr. Copeland, to my observations around your courtroom, outside your courtroom on breaks, is surrounded by several members of law enforcement of the district attorney's office and prosecutors, potentially other persons. I don't know why a sitting witness under oath is in a room with prosecutors during breaks, mornings, afternoons. It's totally inappropriate. There are people who are in your court's door. There's a double door where the court sits to its right that aligns with the witness chair. And I noticed people standing there in law enforcement while Mr. Copeland is testifying. He's making eye contact with them. I don't know if they're his brother. My point to you is this: what gives anybody the right to surround a witness? He's not in custody. and bring a witness. I'm sure Mr. Copeland didn't say to the prosecutors, I don't know this, Your Honor, so if you think I'm wrong, then just strike it from your memory. But I'm sure he didn't say, hey, you guys want to hang out in this room a little while? So I believe that he is being led on a tether by the prosecutors, and it is coercion. It is inappropriate. And why would anybody not be recording everything he said? And why do I have to get it in drips and drabs? So I am objecting to the tactics of the Fulton County District Attorney's Office and whomever else they may have employed with a citizen, regardless of what the court may think of him, what the prosecutors think.
I don't have any thoughts. So please don't put that in. Please don't put that in the ether. Okay, but that's what you just said, sir.
Ether is
okay.
Clear. The court wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it either. So why is it happening?
I have no interest other than I'm a referee.
Well, you're the referee who spoke with the witness without my presence.
Mr. Steele, we're not gonna get it.
Let's stop it right there now. Let's stop it right there now. All right. And you know Brian Steele is feeling real good because the Supreme Court just let him off the hook. And you know that Judge Glanville is very embarrassed. He's so embarrassed because he was so angry, so furious at Brian Steele that he ordered him to be incarcerated for 20 days, 10 weeks in jail, every weekend through the summer. And the Supreme Court yesterday was like, no, Glanville, what the hell you doing? What the hell you doing? So now today, Brian Steele comes in and like, hey now, motherfucker. Ooh, I like that little shot. Shout out to Brian Steele. Let's go.
Employed with a
give me for that. I apologize,
citizen,
yo.
regardless of what the court may think of him, what the prosecutors think.
I don't have any thoughts. So please don't put that in. Please don't put that in in the ether. Okay, but that's what you just said, sir.
Ether is
okay.
Clear. The court wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it either. So why is it happening?
I have no interest other than I'm a referee.
Well, you're the referee who spoke with the witness without my presence.
Mr. Steele, we're not gonna get into that right now.
Well,
okay?
my point is, how is he being treated here? And why don't I have all this? And why is this going on? What an unfair trial for Mr. Williams. Think about it. If you were accused, Your Honor, and the judge met with this witness with the prosecutor, and you sat next to me and Mr. Adams, you would say to us, what kind of case is this? Now he's being surrounded with all this law enforcement. My point is,
Your Honor, we're going to object that this.
I'm not going to be interrupted.
Mr. Steele, hold on. But you're Mr. Steele? Mr. Steele?
Yes, sir. What?
Okay.
I want to finish. I'm making a record for the court just said.
Mr. Steele.
Wow.
I've never been interrupted in a court except for this one. You
but the challenges in this point in time is that some of the things that you have said at certain points in time are not appropriate.
Not true.
Okay, well that's the court's.
Court is wrong.
Well, you have everybody has an opinion, and it can certainly be reviewed at the appropriate time. But finish up so you can go ahead and make your record.
Interrupt anyone about a prosecutor or anyone. This is a record. This is important.
Okay, but it's your allegation and assertion, sir. Okay, so. Well, we don't know that. We don't know whether or not they're true.
What's going on? Every time Mr. Copeland comes in the courtroom or out of court, he's escorted by a DA's office investigator. You see that? This court is observant. You're not just sitting there in a cloud. You see exactly what's going on. You hear the prosecutor tell you, we were in a room with Mr. Copeland, and he said, why?
Okay.
Why do I have to bring it up? You should be bringing it up. This is crazy. Wow. This is like communist Russia. Mr. Williams had the worst trial. So I'm moving again to stop intimidating the witness by the prosecution, leave people alone, and stop accusing. You've allowed the prosecutor Love to accuse me of misconduct.
Oh, but you've also accused her of hold on. You have accused her of misconduct as well. And remember what I told you about your professional remember what I told you about your. And she's gonna take me down as opposed to you. So when I start talking, stop talking, please. Okay? I'll let you complete your record, okay?
I understand the one party talking. I got it.
All right. Okay. All right. So I told you, several times before, I told you and your colleagues, remember your professional responsibility. And let's not make this an ad hominem issue. I don't believe that either one of you are trying to do anything that would subvert your ability to practice law. But
Love has intentionally lied to the court numerous cases.
Hold on. Let him finish. See, this is Mr. Steele. This is exactly what I'm saying. You cannot, it is not a good idea to state that your brethren across the bar are lying, okay? At any time or any way.
I don't like doing
Okay, but don't. So don't. But don't because you don't have any proof. If you have proof of it, then if you have proof, there's a mechanism in law and under the rules for you to submit that question to the Office of General Counsel and for an investigation to occur. But please stop, both of you. I told both of you earlier, stop making these ad hominem attacks toward one another. Okay?
This is crazy.
You say nothing.
Well, okay, but I've said something. You're going back to stuff that's happened in the past. So while I'm trying to deal with things that are current. So I told you all most recently, as of about a week or so ago, to stop all this. Remember I told you the world's watching you? They are.
Bro, they're watching you.
So please don't from this point on, do not accuse each other of anything. If you want to go ahead and do it, there's a proper way to do it, but don't bring it up in front of me. Okay?
I'm just making a point that this has been going on and it's abusive. That is my point.
That's your assertion, sir, as a lawyer, okay? And maybe your frustration with everything. Like I told you, this trial's gone a long time. There's a lot of wear and tear, but everybody's got to rise above and be a professional advocate. That's what the system demands of you.
I'm not worn or torn. I am here to tell the court that from a objective, casual observer, to see what's going on here is inappropriate.
Okay. At the end of the day, I understand your concern that you have now shared with the court. Okay. All right. State, do you want to respond?
Hell yes.
Your Honor, I
everybody
just
wants to.
that the court strike the portions of Mr. Steele's whatever that was to the court regarding personal and ad hominem attacks on members of the state's team. Ms. Hilton will address the merits of the initial argument that Mr. Steele made. But as to personal attacks on members of the state's team, we'd ask that assertions that specific people have lied, that is disrespectful, that is unprofessional, and not one time has any such statement been made by any member of this team about anyone else.
I think, Ms. Love, in the past, you've made some statements.
I have never said anyone lied.
You made some statements about Mr. Steele. Well, just let me finish. I'm not done.
Shout out to Terica. Thank you for
All
giving
right, and about several others of your colleagues. I mean, and it may have been the heat of discussion and everything else. Like I said earlier, there's enough blame to go around for everybody. All right. So, but can we kind of stop that and draw things kind of forward? I've had 2 or 3 conversations with everyone about their obligations as professional advocates under the rules. Okay. And that while the court certainly agrees that ad hominem attacks they don't make anybody look any good. They really don't. I mean, but I'm just saying I acknowledge that. I acknowledge what's been gone on in the past. And I ask that you all reflect upon that because, like I said, you can't say some of the stuff that people say to one another can't be taken back. They just can't. So, and that's just something that the court would just have you reflect upon.
Thank you, Judge.
Sides, okay.
And we just ask again that statements like Ms. Love lied be stricken from the record. Those are personal attacks. There's none been made, at least not this day.
I'm not gonna consider your ad hominem attacks. Either one is okay,
Thank you.
or anybody's. All right. Okay. All right, madam.
Here come Miss Hyde.
Your Honor, regarding Mr. Steele's assertions of our interactions with Mr. Copeland, we have not treated Mr. Copeland any different than we would treat any of our other witnesses in the state of Georgia. He is our witness. If he wants to be around us, he can. If he chooses not to, he doesn't have to be.
Will he be invited, though?
The fact that he's saying we are coercing Mr. Copeland to speak is clearly not true, given Mr. Copeland's testimony here today. If we were coercing him to speak, he would answer my questions and I would not have to sit here and go in a back and forth and struggle with him. So clearly we are not being influential on Mr. Copeland, given our interactions with him outside of the courtroom. So again, Your Honor.
She's honestly saying, well, we know we didn't coerce him to speak because he's not giving us all the answers that we asked for. That's crazy. That's wild.
Nothing inappropriate about the state's interactions with Mr. Copeland. He is the state's witness. We can't interact. We have not influenced any of his testimony, Your Honor. And so we ask that, I don't know if it was a motion, be denied if that was what was being asked of the court.
All right. I'll include the state's Exhibit 400, the statements of the most recent email that you have disclosed to the defense in this case, for purposes of the record, and I will also, to the extent that I don't think of Mr. Steele. Let me just make sure. Are you again moving for mistrial, or did you make them within your statement? Did you ask the court for a mistrial?
Yes, it's by totality of what I said.
Okay, I'm going to deny that motion, and I will also note for the record that it was that saying was positive for the next question. Okay. All right, Mr. Matthews, you're eating up your lunch. Okay, so.
Yeah, I just want to put on the record that based upon my vantage point in the courtroom, I have a unique place where I'm able to see the jury, I'm able to see the witness, and I'm also able to see the vestibule out here. And on yesterday, I just want to be clear that not only observe back here, but I have a unique place, and I observe a very large individual standing outside of that door, those two doors, staring at the witness during this testimony.
Wow.
I know it's a large individual too. There's plenty of large individuals. They're law enforcement, or we don't know, but I
know it's law enforcement.
Well, who is it? What's their name? Okay, well then we don't know it's law enforcement. But I have the same or better vantage. I have the same or better vantage than you do, and I certainly think that for reasons that we don't know, that law enforcement stand in that door for security posture, and that's the only reason that they're at that door.
Well, I understand. I'm just putting on the record.
Okay. Well, when this is reviewed, and the court's going to look at what the court saw as well. So if you're thinking that there's intimidation or otherwise, I'm telling you, and I'm putting on the record for purposes of the record, that there are many law enforcement that sit in both doors of this courtroom for that reason and that reason only. And unless you can tell me who specifically was standing out there, as you say, and Ms. Steele said, looking at our witness, Mr. Copeland, then I don't see that. Okay? Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Judge.
All right.
I don't see how he stays on this case.
Since no one wants to spend a lunch
I don't see how he stays on this case.
I saw the same thing that Mr. Matthews saw yesterday, the large individual.
How did you see him? Your back's to the door.
That is kind of wild.
Are you questioning whether I saw him or not?
I'm asking how you saw it.
Oh my God.
Okay.
This is crazy.
Because that we've seen people outside that door for 18 months, Your Honor. This person yesterday was glaring through that glass for at least 10 to 15 minutes that I noticed, boring a hole into the witness. So I just want to add that is what I saw. I don't know his name. I don't know if it was law enforcement. I believe it was. I've not seen any other individual with law law enforcement do that to that witness or any other witness during the course of the trial.
Okay.
Thank you so much for
Thank you.
Your Honor, this, just so that the record is clear, could they give more detail? Because there's no member of the state that fits that.
Yeah, I don't need. He was a gentleman yesterday dressed in black or dark clothing. That's what I saw.
Also, yes, Your Honor, and I don't know.
He's like, Woody is getting stalked by some huge man dressed in black, staring at him for 10, 15, 20 minutes at a time. Someone is posted up at the door, maybe intimidating little Woody, and no one knows who he is.
We don't know, one, who they're talking about, what they're talking about. Literally, no. So the idea, this insertion into the record of the insinuation that someone is intimidating anyone.
I'll also ask Captain Kendall to ensure that only law enforcement are allowed back there in the vestibule, so that that if there's any issue with anybody looking in the courtroom, that is removed. So, all right.
Thank you.
This is craziness. So this is the summary of last week. All the shit.
I don't know whether this is something the court can give an instruction in regards to. I want the folks to just take notice of it. We've had some discussions before about the configuration of the courtroom. There's a lot of folks in here. We've got jurors who are sitting right there on the front row who are closer than they would normally be to the parties in this case. I've noticed over the course of the last number of weeks and months, quite frankly, and I'd like the court to either remind the state or maybe because it could be inadvertent, but maybe they can take note themselves of the fact that sometimes their facial expressions, their reactions, their statements to each other, their conversations to each other are done so close in the presence of the jury that it can't help but impact the jury. There was one time last week where Ms. Hilton was attempting to introduce a document and there was some frustration because there's an objection, and Ms. Love reached over and says, and I could hear it from over there, just show them the original. Just show them the original. And you know, those type of conversations and you know, when someone's upset with a ruling and roll their eyes or makes a facial expression or throws up their hands in front of the jury, 2 or 3 feet away from the jury, can't help but impact the jury. And so if the court needs to just remind the parties that we've got a jury that can be impacted and they need to be a little bit more circumspect, they can do that. Or perhaps my colleagues across the aisle can take note of that themselves and act accordingly.
All right, sir. Yeah, there's not a lot of room, and I wish you'd have brought this up earlier, but I certainly agree with that. I'd advise all counsel to just be mindful of their reactions as the jurors watch everything, okay? All right.
Apparently, the attorney just went in to help cover. Apparently, the attorney is a personal injury attorney.
Stop, really?
Yeah, it's not even like
she doesn't even practice criminal law?
She was just doing it to cover. And this happens to us, guys. This happens to us. We get set up sometimes. So like, let's say AV she's an attorney and she does workers' comp. And let's say I do divorce. And so she does workers' comp and I do divorce. And I say, hey, AV, listen, I got to go to another courthouse, but I need you just to cover this small little hearing. All you have to do is just go in, say yes, 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 and sign the papers. That's it. I got it all worked out. I talked to opposing counsel, talked to the judge, let everybody know. You just go in. I need you to go in, just say yes to a few questions and then sign the papers. Everything's fine. So then AV says, fine, I'll help you. She goes, she shows up to court.
And it's
everybody's there. The judge looks at AV and says, okay, AV, are you ready for trial? And AV's like,
who's trial?
Exactly. I was supposed to sign something.
What you mean?
What you mean?
Of course, there were more Woody shenanigans where he admits to lying on the stand and had an interesting interaction with the court reporter.
It never crossed my mind.
So how were you able to tell Detective Gaither that Nut and Thug was cool?
Because they're questioning me and I'm trying to get them off of me. And she asked me questions about Nut and Thug, I guess, and I'm telling her whatever she asked me, let's say she asked me a question about the sky. I'm gonna say, yeah, I seen the sky. It's blue. Whatever she asked me, I'm gonna agree to that. I'm gonna say whatever she asked me. If she asked me about this reporter right here, I'm gonna say, yep, she's sitting outside me with white tennis shoes on. I'm gonna say something. Just because I want her to believe I'm telling her the truth, that I want her to get me out of jail.
Well, she has on white tennis shoes, don't she?
Don't you got on white tennis shoes?
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
This is crazy.
Right, and they white, right?
She had on Chucks.
Got on Chucks.
So you telling the truth.
What color your shoes is? She said they white.
So you're telling the truth then.
Well, it depends. See, you pick what you want to tell.
Poor Woody.
You also tell Gaither in another interview that Nut and Thug had problems.
Can you say it again?
Did you also tell Gaither in another interview that Nut and Thug had problems?
See? You saying it right there and there.
So my question for you is, how did you know about any relationship between Nut and Thug?
I didn't.
Friday was a shorter day, which really consisted of more direct examination of Woody. We can expect to see more direct examination of Woody on the witness stand next week, but we can also expect cross-examination by the defense attorneys. These developments have added a new level of intensity to the trial, with accusations of improper conduct and legal maneuvering coming to the forefront. The defense and the prosecution are locked in a heated battle, with both sides facing significant challenges.
When your car got shot at, did you know about Lucci's mother's home being shot at?
What you mean?
Were you aware that Lucci's mother's home was shot at?
Huh?
When you met with Detective Gaither,
right,
about what happened on the highway, during that time period, were you aware of Lucci's mother's home being shot at?
No.
Do you recall talking to Detective Gaither in that January 28th interview about Lucci's home being shot at?
I can't recall.
During that interview, do you remember telling Detective Gaither and Detective Dennis that Lucci's mama and dad got shot? So Nick called Big Boo's phone, and we was at Big Boo's house. Do you recall telling them that?
I don't recall.
Let me ask you this. Do you recall independently being with Big Boo and Lucci's manager calling his house, calling his phone, trying to give him $20,000 to find out whoever shot up Lucci's mama's house?
Form the question.
I'll stay in the form. You can rephrase.
Do you recall being at Big Boo's house and someone from Lucci's manager calling Big Boo back in 2015?
I don't recall.
As the trial continues, we'll keep you updated with the latest news and insights. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any updates. Stay safe out there. See you in the next one. Bye.
Appreciate you, AV. Thank you so much. Let me get this screen cleared up. There we go. Yo, that was just a highlight reel of highlight reel of last week's shenanigans in the YSL case. There are so many weird things that happened, from, again, the contempt to the secret meeting, to the contempt hearing, to the Supreme Court jumping in. There was so much that happened. And of course, Woody's testimony. It is bananas. So, and somebody mentioned it even today, the end of today ended with Brian Steele. Here, let me just bring this in for a little bit of a color commentary so we can kind of see what's going on. Right at the end of the day, right when the day was, when the day was over with, Brian Steele dropped this note, made a motion to the Superior Court of Fulton County in the state of Georgia. Motion to disqualify, recuse Judge Glanville from all further dealings in the above referenced case and motion for mistrial, which is goaded, I don't know what goaded means, by the improper conduct committed in concert by the court and prosecution. Oh my goodness. This has just been, so what this is basically saying is Brian Steele has asked that the court not only, that the state of Georgia not only consider removing Judge Glanville from the case, but they did go ahead and just slap on that double jeopardy real quick. I'll hit that with that double jeopardy, because a mistrial is generally when the defense has done something wrong. But when the prosecution has done something wrong, that's when double jeopardy is applied. So a mistrial that can be retried, forgive me, a retrial, a redo, a run back will be if the defense has done something wrong. But when the prosecution has done something wrong, it becomes a immediate double jeopardy. You cannot retry this case. This is craziness. And please understand, I don't think anybody wants criminals running free on the street. I think we all agree that, having criminals put away where criminals belong is a good thing. It's the right thing for criminals to go where criminals should be, not out here running around on our streets. I agree wholeheartedly. But this case right here has become, it's hard for it to see it. Any other case, any other situation, you'd be like, yeah, I want the bad guy to go to jail. At the current moment, they're trending toward proving that he's a bad guy and that he did all these bad things. But here, it is almost like they want to prove that he didn't, or that they are trying to do some underhandedness in order to bring it about. It is the craziest thing I've ever seen. I mean, it's wild. So, did somebody ask for the copy of that? Okay, no, I'm sorry. Tomorrow I'm going to go over that full document, since here, let me grab it and drop it in here for y'all anyway. All right. I'm going to go over this tomorrow. We're going to make it because it's so long. It's almost 28 pages long. And there's a lot of examples. There's a lot of information on here. Lots of meat on this bone that needs to be picked off. There's a lot. And I want to give y'all a chance to digest it yourselves, because we actually might jump on it and start in the middle of it, because there's some good stuff at the beginning, but the end of it, in the middle and the end, that's where all the magic is. So we might actually go through it like that. But that's just a possibility. Good to see you, Caustic Chameleon. Always good to see you. Thank you so much. And I really did intend to go through that AV summary and try to clean up some of the language. So I do apologize for that. I appreciate y'all being gracious to me. Yeah, it did look like a book, man. This is intense. You know good and well Brian Steele and them worked on that over this weekend. And they did that. They had everything ready. And then when they left out today, they said, we're going to throw this Molotov cocktail and walk out the door. What did you say, transplant? I'm dropping my own links. LOL. Hey, get them. What is this link? What's this link here? What's this link you dropping in there? Is it something we need to go check out? What we got to do? We're going to go check it out, see what you're doing over there. Sorry about over here. Way off task. All right, let's see what we got. What you dropping in there that we need to check out there, Chameleon? Texan? I don't know what Chief Executive Second Board is doing. She make a bunch of noise in there, though. She clanging and banging in there. All right, let's see what you got. What is this link you done dropped in here? Is this your YouTube channel? Oh, this is, this is 11. This is Fox News. Yeah, man, this thing is crazy how much, first of all, how many people are watching it is bananas. There's people all over. What's going on, Messy Michonne? Good to see you. Grace and peace. Thank you so much for stopping by. Great content creator. She's also been following a lot of the shenanigans happening here in Fulton County and in Georgia. I think she might even be addressing what's going on in Dalton, but definitely go check out, if I could have the moderators drop Messy Michonne Live's YouTube link in here, it would be great. for people to check out what she's doing over there. She has a great commentary on, I know she gives Fani some business. I love hearing women discuss this topic and give them a feminine perspective. So definitely check out Messy Michonne. Thank you so much for stopping by this evening. Good evening to you, friend. Good evening to you. So one of the things I pointed out is that it's such a horrible look that we here in Georgia have become front and center. Literally people, I mean, I got people watching this in the Philippines. I got faithful watchers in the UK and in South Africa. I mean, come on, for crying out loud. There are people all over the place that are watching this because we've become the laughing stock of the world. Now, granted, sure, there's some understanding American judicial system, which is a little bit different from country to country, but there's some stuff going on that's so clear and so egregious and so silly, like little Woody getting up there pleading the fifth for his age, or hearing a judge yell at a defense attorney like that, having ADA Love and YSL Steel, I'm calling him YSL Steel because he is a gangster, yelling at each other in the courtroom. It just makes a mockery of our judicial system. Now, could that be part and parcel because we're putting it on TV? Maybe so. Maybe judges and jurors and defense attorneys are yelling at each other all the time. Maybe that's all the time, but we don't see it because it's not always on TV. I don't know. But what I do know is we are being televised. And it's funny because last week, Judge Glanville literally told the, I'm sorry, it wasn't last week, it was the previous week, where he tells the defense attorneys, the whole world is watching us because it's on television. But sir, you're doing stuff that's putting that in jeopardy, sir. It is craziness. So it's wild to watch and see. And at the end of the day, maybe Young Thug is as bad as he's being depicted. Maybe he did every single thing that they said he did, maybe even worse. But you still have to have a proper trial. You can't say, well, because I know he's wrong, I can go over here and cheat. Because I know he's a sinner, I can go over here and sin. Because my sin is less than his sin, because my sin points out that he's a sinner. It don't work like that. That's not the way the judicial system works. And I'm a pre-K law student. I don't even know what I'm talking about. And I know that that's not the way the system works. But the fact that these are whole grown attorneys, 5, 10, 20, 30 years in the game, and they are literally in here bumbling it up like this, it's hard to take them seriously. It's hard to believe that they actually want to be taken seriously. Like, maybe they just want to fail. And what does it say about Fani Willis's DA office? I've said it before. I'll say it again. Fani Willis is not really good at record keeping. Again, if you know me, I've told you all before, I'm a 15-year retired school teacher, and I can tell you teachers are required to keep almost meticulous notes. Where if you want to have a successful school year, well, let me back up. If you want to have a horrible school year, don't keep records. Just go whatever. Fly by the seat of your pants. Give out grades however you want to. Give out homework assignments. Don't grade them. Don't keep up with records. I promise you, you will have the worst time in your life. I promise you, there's no worser experience than having 5, 6, 7, 10 parents ganged up in the office because you don't have all of your ducks in a row. Your paperwork is not in place. I'm really starting to think that that's how Fani Willis runs this DA's office, because there's so many instances. You go back to the Amanda Timpson discussion, and you remember the big old binder, the 6-inch, almost 7-inch binder she had of receipts. Where's Fani's receipts? And I really don't think, well, in my opinion, my humble opinion, I think that that's how she runs her DA office. It's extremely loosey-goosey. There is no record keeping. I read the report where Ashley Merchant is suing Fani Willis for the Freedom of Information Act violations. It's egregious. As a matter of fact, it's on Phil Holloway from Inside the Law, another fantastic content creator. Shout out to Phil. If one of the moderators can drop it down in the chat, I think you'll have a chance to check it out. It's fantastic. But Ashley Merchant is suing Fani Willis because the Freedom of Information Act requires government entities to divulge information that is pertinent, that can be freedom of information asked. So for example, if I was the president of, not the president, if I was a chairperson of the Black Hat Society, and that is a government entity, if Messy Michonne wanted to make a Freedom of Information Act request asking what was I using the Black Hat Society credit card for, she has the right to ask for that because I'm a government entity. So I would actually have to give based upon, I would have to give our credit card statement to her because it's the company's, not the company, it's the taxpayers' information. If I was using the email to email out to the Red Hat or the Gray Hat Society, Michonne would be able to ask for that information because it's on the Black Hat Society computer, and it's about Black Hat and Gray Hat Society information, and they would be able to ask it. That's why if your husband or spouse or loved one refuses to use their work computer for something or their work cell phone for some things, and don't send me any Facebook jokes, don't send me any memes on my work computer or my work phone, whatever like that. That's why, because if they get a Freedom of Information Act and they say, well, were you shopping at Zappos? What's going on there? What's going on with this meme, this off-color meme? You don't want that. Now, I'm bringing all that up because Ashley Merchant literally sued Fani Willis, and this is back in September of last year. She was suing for all that information that she brought up in the disqualification hearing. She was suing for that. So remember when Ashley said, you refuse to give us your Delta flight records. Remember that? And Fani got really snippy and said, I refuse for you interfering in my life or something of that nature. Well, that was freedom of information. She should have been able to give it to her. And Fani Willis violates freedom of information left and right and center. You would not be able to do that. And I'm just wondering, why does Fani do it? Why did she get away with it? So I don't believe, I think part of the reason why this trial has become such a dumpster fire, a literal nuclear waste dump of shenanigans and just craziness, is because they don't keep records. They don't do a good job of keeping records. I'm not going to assume that they're dirty yet. However, I can tell people who don't keep good records. I'm telling you, I'm a small business owner. I know how hard it is for me to keep records because it's not natural to me. So I actually have to work at it. I got to make sure I keep this file and make sure I do this. And if you see my desktop on my Mac, it is crazy looking. Mac people hate the way I keep up with, because I'm trying to keep files and keep these records because I don't want anything that I need it later on, and I want to be able to find it. So it's crazy. But I don't think they do that. I don't think they do. And that's why they're so poor at it. If you listen to the pre-trial work session that they did today, Monday, during the YSL trial, they mentioned to Brian Steele mentioned that it's the prosecution's job to update Little Woody on what he said back in 2015, not for them to require us to hear it now, but they should have done a better job of not training him, but at least refreshing his memory, if you will. But they're treating him like a hostile witness already. So back to the point that I'm making, I really, truly don't believe, in my opinion, that the Fulton County DA's office is well managed and well run. So as this case goes down in flames, because it's going to fail. After you read the recusal motion, and I dropped it down, the link in the chat, we'll go over it tomorrow. Maybe I'll get Phil to come on tomorrow. Maybe I can talk to Phil, beg him, Phil, come on over here, man, talk with us, man. Come on, talk to this pre-K law school class. But after that, it's going to be, there's no way, there's really, truly no way that Judge Glanville comes out of this unscathed. There's just no way. I mean, it's scathing. And I'm just going to tell you again, check it out. Brian Steele issued a motion that Judge Glanville recuse himself in an automatic mistrial and double jeopardy be applied. It was masterful. It was masterful. I mean, he gives notes. He explains who was the mole. He explains that, and he breaks it down into who was actually in the sessions and so on and so forth. I see no way I see no clear path to victory here for the prosecution, because it doesn't matter if they continue this case. Let's just say that they continue. I think it's extremely gracious to say that it'll be over in 2025. When earlier this year, I want to say it was around March or April, they were talking about it going on until 2027. And that was the court saying that. That wasn't me. That wasn't, some legal eagles or somebody like that. It was literally the court saying that this case was going to go on to 2027. Now, I don't know if they were being like hyperbole or trying to be like super out of pocket, but my point in saying that and bringing that up is, let's just say for laughs and giggles, let's just say it, they continue. Let's say somehow or another, they're able to continue this case. And Glanville, prosecution, everybody stays in there, and all of the things are shot down, motion denied. And they continue on. Just like I know, as sure as my name is Jason, this is going to doggone appeal. This is a hot track to appeal. Like, do not pass go, do not collect $200. You're going straight to appeal. For what then? What was the purpose of this? Why not stop now? And please understand, they've got better than 100, maybe even 150 more witnesses to call. So they're probably not all as bad as Woody, but Woody was only supposed to be up there till tomorrow, Tuesday. But now Woody gonna be there the whole week. So that's pushing back all of that. So let's just again pretend, for laughs and giggles, that Glanville stays and everybody else stays, nothing changes. And they got 150 witnesses still. And let's just pretend that they work every single day. And let's say by some major feat, they're able to get through a witness every 2 weeks. Okay. So that means that let's just pretend. You already see where I'm going. There's no way in the world this case is going to make it. Because if there's 150 people, and let's just say for easy math, there's 50 weeks in a year, that means that they would get through 50 people in 1 year. And then so they get to another 50 and another 50 and another. If they just started that tomorrow, they're going to be at the tail end of 2027. That's just that alone. No motions, no upheavals, anything like that. There's no way. I brought this up to the lead attorney when I was on his show earlier today. Do they have to do this in the state level? The federal government should, in my opinion, RICO charges should not be brought up by state attorneys because it's just not capable and able. Now, there's a federal courthouse here in Atlanta. Maybe one day I'll drive by there and do a live stream from there. I mean, there's a federal court building down there. They could do a federal, again, they could still do the exact same things. And by the way, please understand, this is the same Fulton County that's supposed to be bringing up 45 on RICO. So, and there's 18 on them. 18 of them, please forgive me. And you see what 6 is doing to Fulton County right now. Can you imagine what 18 would be doing? It's just a monstrous waste of money. I think it's some kind of money laundering. I don't know how to prove it. I don't know where the money's getting laundered to, what money's being, but I do think it's a wealth transfer, hands down. Just like I think Fani Willis's inability to keep records is a wealth transfer of some degree. There's some shenanigans, there's some thievery going on in there, in my opinion. So, yeah, this is just craziness. And again, like, people all around the world are watching this case. They're tuning in just like we watching it. I mean, they popping their popcorn just like we be popping ours. And it's embarrassing. And I live here. I love Georgia. I love living in Atlanta. And it makes us look so bad. It makes us look so bad. I know somebody earlier was talking about Woody and they feel sorry for him. Look, there's a lot of Woodies in Atlanta. Let me just tell you, there's a lot of children that are raised just like that. And yes, they did have a hard life. And yes, they do have it rough. And it's sad. It's really sad to see. There's definitely room for Christ Church to reach out. I mean, Woody is a perfect example of why there should be a serious push to evangelize the inner city. I don't think you need to do anything special. I don't think you need to learn Ebonics or do anything like that, wear a dashiki or anything of that nature, acting ridiculous. But demonstrating and showing that you're concerned about that community is humongous. And the best way to do it is to start with the schools. Find the local school. I mean, Cleveland Avenue is right there. Maybe I should pull it up on a map. There's so many schools that, Woody went to. Everybody remember what school Woody went to? He told D.A. Hilton on Thursday where he went. He went to Slater Elementary School. That's an at-need school right here in Atlanta Public, right here. And I mean, there's so many schools that are like that need assistance and help and so on and so forth. If your church would volunteer to support and help that school, you're doing a whole bunch to derail the Woodies of the world. There's still going to be crime. There's still going to be a lot of things that are still, but if you want to okay, where can we really get the most bang for our buck? Atlanta Public Schools. And man, I started to pull it up and then stopped. Now, he mentioned that he went to school. By no means is this the end of every school that is in the Atlanta area. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. All right, let me show you real quick. And I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much, man. It's about 139 of y'all watching this. Hey, my name is Jason. I like to give social and political commentary from a Christian male perspective. And tonight we just went over the highlights of the Young Thug case. And now I just wanted to kind of go over. I don't want Google to pay for it. I don't want to promote anything. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. That's Whitaker Park. What do you know about that? Let's back up. It really is Whitaker Park. Okay, let's fix this. Hold on one second. All right. Find up doxing my own self. Oh, dummy. All right, get this out of the way. There we go. All right, let's start this again. All right, here we go. All right. I'm going to give y'all a tour. Y'all know I like to do this stuff. I like doing this. I like using Google Maps to show you, because a lot of people don't know. All right, so this is Slater Elementary School. This is one of the schools that little Woody said he went to, okay? Now, I'm just going to tell you this little caveat. You see these streets right here? These are the main intersections, the main highways, interstates. This one going left to right is called I-20. And the one going north to south is 7585. Now, of course, this is what's called Spaghetti Junction in the middle, and it looks exactly like that. It looks crazy, right? It looks bananas. But here we go. This is I-20. If you ever hear anybody joking, there's the house, Morehouse College is right there, the house. If you hear anybody ever talking about south of 20, this is what they're talking about. Lower end, south of I-20, generally speaking, is predominantly minority, highly melanated people, okay? And a lot of the time, they're not necessarily the most rich, okay? It's just a statement of fact, okay? So if you were going to be down here in south of 20, you know what kind of stuff you're going to be experiencing, okay? You know you're going to be dealing with convenience stores. You know you're going to probably be dealing with a little bit more, as we like to say, the element, if you will. So you know that that's what you're going to experience. You're not going to be experiencing sunshine and rainbows and walking to church with your family hand in hand. That's not what you're going to necessarily be experiencing south of 20. So here's Slater Elementary. Where's Slater? Oh, actually, Slater's further south. That's right. Okay. right, so here's Slater Elementary School right here. So it's real close to I-85 and 75, not terribly far, but it's also right here off of this little side to side is called University Avenue. My goodness, in the morning. So this is a very interesting area of town. But so long story short, here's Carver High School is right over here. It's exactly what you think it is, man. It's exactly what you think it is. It's a very impoverished area. There's lots of people that are disenfranchised and such like that. They need a lot of hope. So if you ever wanted to do something, like you would pick this kind of school right here, and y'all have to commit. You'd have to commit to a multi-year program, multi-year digging in with this community, coming to do read alouds, coming to do book bags at the beginning of the school year, coming to support for Christmas. If you or your church really wanted to help out in a situation like this, that would be a great way to start with a school like this, because you're gonna defuse 2 or 3 or 5 or 6, maybe even more possible Woodies. Now they're gonna still be, again, there's gonna still be heartbreak. There's gonna still be situations that are not that you're not coming in here with a riding in on a white horse. You're doing your very best with what you got, which is the demonstration and expression of love to this community and sharing Christ with them. But at the end of the day, it is what it is, and you're going to do your best. And again, there's going to be some letdowns, there's going to be some hurts and some heartaches that you're not going to be able to change everybody. However, this is a great way to actually reach out to a community and help them. And so that's just something I noticed, and just something I'll just bring up. I would think that would be a great way to help. If somebody said, hey, well, what can we do? As you're listening to Woody, y'all know that poor guy. If he had a GED, I'd be surprised, okay? If he said he didn't even make it out of middle school. He didn't ever remember going to high school. So he probably stopped somewhere in his 7th, 8th grade somewhere. 6th, 7th, or 8th grade, somewhere around there. He didn't, that's sad. And he's 37, something like that. So he's been going this long without having any real tools for success, any real gifts and abilities to do something. He probably is, I'm sure he probably is a very capable person. He probably can learn how to turn a wrench. He probably can learn how to do some HVAC, be a woodworker or whatever like that, but he just didn't have it. So, but imagine if you, your church's outreach, your missions department, whatever like that, reached out and tried to help a school in this area. And the thing is, you got to commit for multi-years. You got to commit from support the kindergarten class all the way to when they leave the elementary school, all the way till they get to 5th grade. You got to be ready to you got to be locked in all the way. We're going to be in here helping them out. We're going to come in there and we're going to find a way to get our parishioners over there to do read alouds every week or every month or whatever. We're doing this for book bags at the end of the summer. We're helping this way in Thanksgiving, helping them at Christmas. It has to be a full or plan, because that's how you derail a lot of this stuff here. And again, stuff that we're seeing with Woody, it is sad, because this is, I hate to say like it's normal, because it's abnormal in one breath, but it's extremely normal here in Atlanta. And everybody talks about Atlanta's, New York of the South and all that stuff. Say that to yourself to make yourself feel good. We're just as bumpkin as anybody else. We have nothing to stick our chests out about. We're just as embarrassing, and y'all all see it now, as anywhere else. So when I bring that up, I just want to point that out as just something to consider, to think about, pray about. Maybe there's a school near you that could possibly be benefited from you all doing something. My church, we have a school, elementary school, that we support. We fill up their food pantry 3 times a year. We fill the food pantry up so that parents that the school decides are in need or wants to help out, they have all the supplies they need, all of the dry goods and such like that. And then during Thanksgiving, we bring turkeys. So we fill the pantry up with the dry goods and such like that, and then we bring the turkeys as well. We've done things like the toy drives and such, but we've found more value to the community of doing the food pantry, filling up the school's food pantry And so that's what we do. But I mean, maybe you can do something different. So when you look at Woody, and somebody mentioned earlier, and the only reason I'm having this conversation is somebody mentioned earlier that Woody looks like he's had a very hard life. And no, that's unequivocal. There's no doubt in my mind that he's had a very, very rough life. And I can't find the comment, but there's no doubt in my mind that he's had an extremely difficult life. He's had a lot of ups and downs. I mean, for crying out loud, I think the dude's been shot at 4 times. 4 times. Multiple shots. So not just like a stray bullet here or, one little passing, but multiple shots. Like, man, come on. I've never had that in my life. Never. So what I'm encouraging, we see it, and I'm sure if we go back and look at some of the other witnesses that they've had on the stand, there's a lot of that in that area. And I think the best thing that we can do, of course, is find their actual physical needs. That, is there a physical need that you can help? But at the end of the day, it's not the physical need that is the biggest glaring problem. The biggest glaring problem is that Woody is God's enemy. Apart from God regenerating his heart and turning his stone cold, dare I say, killer heart into a heart of concern and flesh, he's going to die as God's enemy. He will have no mediator. He will have no one to stand between him and the hot fury of God's wrath that's stored up for him. So sure, he needs a vocabulary. Sure, he needs a job. Sure, he needs to get out of the gang. Those are all true statements. But those won't matter once he closes his eyes for the last time. What will matter is that he will open up his eyes as God's enemy eternally. So as we're looking at that, of course, try our best to be helpful, try our best to meet those physical needs that these people have and that the communities have. But at the end of the day, what's needed at Slater Elementary School, Mechanicsville, and all these other places is the gospel, is what's needed far more than just simply physical needs and such of that nature. Sure, they need crime to go down, but the only reason crime is up is because people are God's enemies and they hate God, and they're demonstrating and expressing it through their hatred toward man. That's it. The only reason they got prostitution and all this stuff is because people hate God, and they're expressing it through this way. I mean, that's just it. Summation of it, I'm making it super simple, but it's extremely difficult, and we need to be involved in it. So that was it. I'm still finding this case to be very interesting. But at the end of the day, I think there's so much that we can glean from it. And we can see, even with like a judge, man, like a judge is making these kind of bad decisions when he should be seen as dare I say, the paramount of making good decisions, if that were possible. I think we all can kind of assume like a judge should be making the right decisions. He or she should be making the right decisions. But we're reading here, and we're going to read this tomorrow. I mean, this judge is making all the wrong decisions. Like, my goodness, in the morning. Can you, good gravy. You just staying wrong. Like, you just want to be wrong. So, yeah, man, this is going to be absolutely, unequivocally crazy. So tomorrow I'll do this one with y'all tomorrow. I really, really do appreciate y'all. Thank you so much, man. It was like better than 130 of y'all watching this. And I thank y'all for hanging out with me, going through the summary of the YSL case. My name is Jason. As I just showed y'all, I live here in Atlanta, Georgia. I find these cases super interesting because I know these places. I'm involved in these places. Like I said, I actually used to teach not too far from Slater. So it's super interesting to see these things. But then also on one note, it's kind of sad to see what I think we all kind of agreed to is just some rank corruption. The odor of mendacity is choking at this point. Like it's insane that, again, like, and I'm kind of prone to try to give, especially when I know that somebody has served our country. Judge Glanville has actually a former captain in the Army. He served very faithfully in our country and such like that. But my goodness, in the morning, He is dropping the ball right here. And I feel sorry to see it. I wish that he would make some other decisions and definitely the decision to get out of the way. If this case is a clean case, then I would hope that he would get out of the way so the case can be clean. Somebody else can come in and move forward. But I don't know if that's even possible at this point. So it is really sad to see, like, man, this is the corruption of man. Like this, again, maybe Young Thug is as guilty as today's Monday. Well, at this current moment, this other team has been working so hard to prove that he's not. I'm sorry, to prove that they're going to do dirty dealings, that it almost doesn't even matter that he was guilty. You can't prove it because you've put the odor of mendacity on everything. So I don't know, man. I hate it because it feels like the Fulton County DA's office, that's what they use. Like the little spritz, the little air freshener is mendacity. You know, when you go to a fancy restaurant and they have the mouthwash and cologne and lotion and all that kind of stuff on the counter, you can wash your hands and really freshen up. It just seems like they got mouthwash. And instead of lotion, they got a little bit of spritzer, and it's mendacity. And it seemed like everybody in Fulton County just go by and spray a little mendacity around here, because it's just horrible, man. It's just horrible. And to know that so many people around the world, not even being funny, around the world are watching this, and they're probably reading this. They're reading this in the UK. They're reading this in the Philippines or Brazil. I mean, come on. I got people from New Zealand checking this channel out. That's craziness. To be some little former classroom teacher sitting in my office at home at Whitaker Park, talking to a camera, and to know people from the Philippines are clocking in. People from the UK are tapping in. That's crazy. That's overwhelming. It's amazing, because I'm just over here talking. Even my own kids don't pay attention, but y'all do, and that's amazing. And it really does mean a lot, and I thank y'all for that. So now that's it. I'm not going to talk all night. Terry, look at Terry. See Terry right there. That's my friend right there. That is Terry Adams be coming through for you, boy. Thank you so much. It's always a good time listening to you, DWC. Thank you. Thank you, Terry. I appreciate y'all. So tomorrow, the plan is to jump in, and we're just going to go through this article. We're going to go through this motion. I don't think tomorrow is going to be anything worth watching in the YSL case, but I will keep my eye on it. And if it is something worth watching, then we'll put a pause on this. But I do want to go through this motion because I think it's really telling, because Brian Steele explains who the mole is. He explains what they were talking about in this ex parte meeting and why it is inappropriate for the judge. Oh my goodness. It is scathing. I mean, this is one of those ones where if you had a sibling that was always disobedient to your mom or dad, or maybe it was you, shout out to James. My brother James was in the chat earlier, by the way. Shout out to James. And you always see them get in trouble. And sometimes you almost feel sorry for them. Like, ooh, goodness, man, why don't you just stop doing it? Ooh, stop. And they just keep getting in trouble. That's how I felt reading this. I felt like, man, Judge Glanville, I really want the best for you, sir. I believe that, maybe it's time to retire. Maybe it's time to move on from here. But boy, I don't know how he comes out of this one unscathed. And we'll go over it tomorrow. So I appreciate that. Thank y'all so much. Y'all, real quick, if you could just do me a favor. Hanging out over here on the channel is totally free. There's no price for admissions or anything like that. I do ask you to hit that like button every now and then. And if you don't mind, I would appreciate that. But could you also do me a favor? Down in the chat, can y'all just type the word mods? Because we got the best mods on the block. And I know there are other YouTubers who call their live chats the best live chats in the world, or the best live chats on YouTube. Sure, whatever. Keep telling yourself that. But also, we got the best mods in the world. So I just want to say thank you to all of the moderators. They do such a great job of following along and throwing things up in the chat, throwing things up, links up, and all that kind of stuff like that. It is amazing. And I don't want it to be said because I couldn't do that. I couldn't keep up with that at this point. I used to be able to do it, but now it's so much easier. So I just want to say thank you to all of the moderators and everybody that was a part of this live chat. Thank you so much for being a part of it. Whether you said hi, whether you clocked in, or you just sat there and voyeurized, or you just listened, it doesn't matter. Thank you. Thank you, every last one of y'all, for being a part of this live chat. All 130, however many are watching it now. Every last one of you, all 61 of y'all that liked it. I appreciate you and the such like that. I really do. It means a lot. I'm so glad that y'all hang out. So what I'll do tomorrow is we'll probably start early and just have some fun. I want to hear what y'all think. So I did drop the link to this this motion from Brian Steele in the chat. I'm going to drop it again. So check it out. I would love to have y'all have some 2 cents, be able to add some commentary to it. What do you think about it? All that kind of good jazz. We'll go through it and kind of slice it apart. I may very well bring up Ashley Merchant's suing of of the Fulton County DA's office, aka Fani Willis, tomorrow as well, because it was another masterpiece as well. So yes, if you have a complaint, issue, or concern, please make sure you email management. Please make sure you email management, dearwokec@gmail.com. What's going on, Neva? How are you? Is it long E or short E? Neva or Neva? I think it's Neva. That's me. But tell me, is it long or short E? Good to see you, Sister Grace and Peace. So tomorrow we'll go through this motion to recuse and remove Judge Glanville, and we'll do the Ashley Merchant suing of Fulton County District Attorney's Office for the Freedom of Information Act. I just can't imagine. It's amazing to me how she's gotten away with this. But you know what, though? Okay, I'm sorry. Nope, I got to do it. I fault Jim Jordan. Jim Jordan came in there talking a lot of mad trash about Fani was going to be held in contempt of Congress. And as far as I know, nothing has happened. And as far as I know, she's not giving him any more information than a little trickle out of information. Jim Jordan, shame on him, because he was talking all that big chest stuff, all that big noise, and he did not hold her in contempt. He said she was going to be held in contempt. I want to say, really? Never. Okay. Well, I apologize, Never. Thank you so much. He was talking all that big chest noise that he was going to hold her in contempt, that she didn't do this. She had so many days, blah, 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 and she still didn't do it. Jim Jordan, I fault you. I'm sorry. Yep, there you go. All words, no action, because she should have been brought up on contempt. You said it. And this is something I learned early on in my teaching career. You never make threats. You never threaten anybody. You never threaten. You only promise. So if I tell you you're not going to go to recess today because of this, that, and other, that's not a threat. That is a promise. And that promise will be fulfilled. I don't threaten my children. It was always, if Dad said this, it's going to happen. And it was always a promise. So in my mind, just my little 2 cent here, Jim Jordan should never have said he was going to hold her in contempt if he was not going to, if he was not going to hold her in contempt. He should have held her in contempt, and that should have been it. But all the chips should have fallen. But to just say it and then never do anything about it or never move in that direction, to me was very, very bad form. And now we see what happens. She's still wilding out. So, okay, that was my little mini rant. I did not plan to talk about that, but I did think about, like, Jim Jordan, you said you was going to do this, that, and the third, and none of it happened. Not a bit. And that's, and now look where we are. So I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. Yeah. If you can email management. I do know that I did use some lead attorneys, content, and I do realize he doesn't use proper language. So you don't have to email me that. I know. And I try to clean it up, and I did not clean this one up. So we already know. So I already got you. So I appreciate you. You don't even have to do that one. I already give myself 50 lashes with an invisible noodle. So I'll take care of that. But when's going to be the fireworks show? Are you talking about in the YSL case? Because that could be Friday. Dude, that dude is still going to be on the stand. So they're not going to be tomorrow. They're not going to be Wednesday. They're supposed to be doing work tomorrow, Tuesday. They're not going to be there Wednesday, so they're going to be back on Thursday. That story is crazy. So I appreciate you. Busy trying to force Biden recording. Man. Okay. All right. See, all right. I promise y'all, I was literally about to leave. Y'all saw I was going to leave, right? I was about to leave. Okay. And I got to show y'all something. I said, I was done. I was out of here. My friend, I was taking it to the house. Yeah, here it is. So hopefully I don't get a copyright on this. Goodness gracious. Let's give it a shot. Oh, I'll mute it. There we go. That's what we'll do. I'll mute it so then you can't hear. It's a TikTok. And I've mentioned this before that I think the best way to the best way to beat Joe Biden, is to go to the, I literally said, I know I've said it. I said, go to the bread aisle, the eggs aisle, go to the milk freezer cooler, and just talk about how great Biden is. Clearly somebody heard me. I don't know who this guy is, and I'm muting the audio because I don't want it to get a copyright strike. But I think you can get the vibe for what he's doing. He's walking to the grocery store, wearing a Biden shirt, looking at the prices, being amazed. He's trying to get some bread, and he can't afford it. He's like, I just get some Mentos. That's the best I can afford. And he look at the number like, man, what in the world? It's not muted. And now I don't know if voting for Trump is going to change. I don't think that's going to change things that quickly. But I just thought that was hilarious because I've said this. I've literally said, if you want to beat Trump, just go to the gas station, go to the supermarket, and stand right there and talk about how much you love Joe when you have to pay $8 for a loaf of bread. And he literally does that. I think that's a shout out to him. I don't know if he really heard me because I've said it. I'll roll back the tape. I'm going to find the tape of me saying it because I've said it several times. But I think that's hilarious. And shout out to him because I think that's a great way. Now, what am I saying? Why'd I bring it up? In my opinion. Oh, it wasn't muted? You could hear it? Oh, my gosh. Oh, it was muted on my end. Ay. I'm such a rookie. Yeah, I'll pray for you, boy. I'm struggle streaming. The reason I brought that up is because, sure, I do believe that there are some legal reasons to, some legal problems with Joe Biden. Okay, totally got it. It was muted when I played the whole clip. Okay, there we go. Because I was trying not to. That dog on YouTube, bro. They'll take your whole video and copyright the whole thing for 30 seconds. Anyway, hopefully I did right. But why not bring about policies that people can fully understand and make changes that people can wrap their minds around? The Woodies of the world can wrap their minds around and say, oh, I understand that. Yeah. Instead of, what do you mean? What you talking about? But they can understand it. So sure. There's legal reasons and problems, but let the Democrats keep trying to run the lawfare play. But Why don't you just go ahead and get people to understand that their taxes are too high? And we're going to stop taxing you so much, if in fact you believe that. And if you believe that, then you should do that. It should be a very simple transaction of, we're going to cut your taxes. Just do that. So reason I bring that up, people vote pocketbook issues. Make pocketbook issues the main issues. There you go. It's really easy. I don't think it's difficult, hard, or something that can't be mentally assented to. Just say, hey, we're going to make pocketbook issues. People are going to comprehend what we're talking about from their pocketbook. You're paying this much in taxes. You're bringing home this much. Make it very easy and digestible for the basic person, the most basic person in your community can understand it. You don't have to be a high level economist. You can just be a run-of-the-mill minimum wage person, and you can understand it. If they did that, I believe they would be more successful. And I gave that example before about fight camp, when you're training in mixed martial arts, and usually, it's not always, but most of the time, if two opponents are really talking during their pressers and interviews, they're talking a lot about how they're training, how their conditioning is going, the nutrition's dialed in, they're working on different weak points in their skills, we're watching tapes of their opponents. That's usually a good indicator that this is going to be a good fight, because they're doing things that are germane to the ring, that you're going to see played out in the octagon. When they get in that cage, that's where you're going to see all that play out. But on the same note, if all they're doing is talking about, my opponent has a DUI, my opponent's kids are ugly, my opponent is a racist, my opponent is a bigot, my opponent got bad breath, my opponent got a big nose, those things that don't matter, nobody cares about. Nobody's watching a fight because your opponent has a big nose. Nobody's going to watch the fight because nobody's not going to watch the fight because your opponent has bad breath. Nobody cares. Can you knock him out is the question. So the reason I bring that up is because I think, in my opinion, the rank and file on both sides tend to get into the weeds and not get into what they're actually doing. And it doesn't have to be that you don't highlight, hey, my opponent wants to raise your taxes, I want to lower your taxes. That's different than saying my opponent has bad breath and he doesn't take his recycling out on Thursdays. Who cares? Nobody cares about that. Nobody does. What is that? What is that, a pocketbook issue? Then what are we talking about? And I think if we as people required of our elected officials to get more onto those pocketbook issues and actually do them, not just be on them and bring them up, but to actually do what they say they're going to do, I think we would all be much happier, in my opinion. There you go. Y'all, I did not mean to do that again. I did not mean to start that up again. But I just want to bring that up because I think that's where Jim Jordan is off, in my opinion. I think people could understand that Fani Willis was given X amount of thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars, and it was not used in the proper way. Then explain that. Just show what she did and she didn't do. That's really it. And if he had done that, in my opinion, I think he would have been much better off and really would have won people over to see, like, yo, where are the receipts? If you did this, Fani, where's the receipts? Why is the youth gang prevention center still closed, still not even there? Like, what's going on? So I do think that there's reason for him to have pushed that. But again, it's not focusing on the ancillary things. It's focus on the things that the majority of people can understand. And most people understand, if I give you $5 and you don't spend it like you're supposed to, they understand that. All you gotta do is add some zeros to it now. So I gave you $500,000 and you didn't use it like you were supposed to. There you go. It's that easy. It's not complicated. I just think that we make it complicated. Maybe, again, there could be some bad actors on the Republican side just as much as bad actors on the Democrat side. But I think we have to require from our elected officials that they not be bad actors, but that they do actually put a good faith effort into doing what we're asking them to do, which in this regard is to manage our craziness, which is the federal government. She drunk. But see, and I think a lot of people bring this up. A lot of people mention that Fani Willis probably used the money on vacations. I don't think they did. That's why I said I think there's some money shenanigans going on. Let's just be honest, okay? Let's just be honest. 3 cruises, and let's just say that they did everything. Nate got almost $750,000. We got that part. Put that over there, $750,000. But let's just go with the 3 cruises, the flights, everything like that. In all honesty, we're maybe talking about 100 to maybe 125. I'll even balloon it up to $150,000 in money spent on those vacations. Now, granted, that's nothing to shake a stick at all. But that's still not even $1 million. We're talking about 5, 6, maybe even $10 million that's missing in the Fulton County DA's office. To me, that's a bigger issue. Remember, they received a grant to complete all of these grape kits that they had in with the, I forgot what the proper term is, but there were all these grape kits that have not been properly taken care of, so they don't have the DNA. They didn't have enough money to hire investigators to do all the DNA studies. That's never been done. Where did that money go? It's like $2 million. Where did that go? She didn't Grey Goose that. The money that was given for the grant for the youth prevention, did they buy all the swag? Did they buy all the computers and stuff? Okay, then that would tell us where that money went. But otherwise, where'd the money go? So I think it's far worse than just, Nathan got $750,000. We use $150,000 to go on cruises and stuff like that. Again, that's a lot of money. I'm not minimizing that, but really $750,000 and $150,000 is only $900,000. We're talking about $10 million in some estimates. Where did all that money go? That's why I think that there's some shenanigans and some hijinks and I think if they start digging in and they do Courtney Kramer, holla at your boy. If they do a full audit of the Fulton County DA's office, I bet you people would be horrified at what they were spending money on. Remember the video where she went before the Fulton County Commission to ask for more money to buy cars? And they were like, well, you bought cars 2 years ago, and we see here that you have cars that have not even been used. Why do you need more money for cars? And they were fighting, and then they ended up giving her, I want to say it was almost like $800,000 for new cars. I'm sorry, additional cars for the Fulton County DAs. Where's that money going? Where's it going? So those are just things that I think to consider. So I don't think I think it's far worse than just the cruising. And I'm encouraging people, leave the Grey Goose alone. She didn't Grey Goose that. She didn't, the high seas, $2 million. I'm sorry. Cruises don't cost that much. Okay. They don't. I'm sorry. You could cruise around the world. Okay. For $70,000 a year. Okay. Royal Caribbean has a world cruise, and you literally cruise for 10 months and it costs $70,000. That's not even in the ballpark of millions. Where do those millions go? What is going on in Fulton County? I think that question needs to be asked. And again, shout out to Courtney Kramer. Boy, if y'all started doing an audit, I think you would horrify Fulton County when they see where this money is going. That, hey, I'm paying my taxes in Fulton County, and this is where the money is going. Because we ain't even talked about the Fulton County Jail. We didn't even say anything about the Fulton County Jail. So I just think there's a lot of shenanigans, but it's still not millions. There's not millions. I'm sorry. I was there. I saw her at Turner Chapel. She might have had 2 security guards, maybe. They're not paying millions and millions of dollars. That's the thing. And again, okay, let's say this. She's paying security, but remember, she was given money to take care of those grape kits. She was given money for the gang prevention center. She was given money for cars. That's what they were earmarked for. So where did they go? Where'd the money go? Because she hasn't taken care of the grape kits. She hasn't taken care of the backlog. She hasn't fixed she hasn't built the gang prevention center down there. She hasn't done those things. Where did the money go? That's what I think. If Fulton County, again, if you get Fulton County people to start asking that question, where did the money go? I think you're creating a massive problem for Fani, a major problem for her. And any other elected official in that regard that is willing to take the oath of office, to do their job and duty, to serve the populace, wherever it is of the town or community that they're serving, and they deliberately do stuff like that, come on. That's an easy slam dunk. It's going to take nothing. That's an easy layup. That's a layup. Because again, if you get those people start asking, where did the money go? Or where is the money? And that's it. It is on and popping. So this is my little 2 cents. The sheriff is getting sued by the company that was tracking prisoners. And probably, and rightly so, I'm sure. Hey, Costa Chameleon, that's a real thing. There are tons of people that retire on cruise ships. It's actually, if you're a healthy senior person and you're retiring, to me, a cruise ship is better than a retirement home. Unless you're somebody that needs to go to the doctor quite regularly. Then you might have might be a little bit more spicy and dicey. But if you're relatively healthy, you would, be in like one of those 55 plus communities or 65 plus communities, you're out there playing pickleball every now and then, going for walks and such like that. Actually, a cruise ship is actually cheaper than staying in a retirement community. I'm just saying. We've done the math. It's extremely easy and actually much cheaper. Yeah, I think she might have allegedly misappropriated a bunch of stuff. Federal, state, local, Girl Scout money. I don't know. But, cash in my house, cash everywhere, cash stuffed under my desk, cash over there by my hats, cash. I just think it could really become problematic if people, there we go. There's some good old forensic count. Man, if Courtney Kramer, literally went forward on that and used that as a campaign, as a plank in her platform, that you're going to get a forensic audit of the Fulton County DA's office within 45 days of me taking office. And did it. You got to do it, though. You cannot threaten. You have to promise. If she did that, that'd be crazy. It would be bananas. I don't know, Neva. I've reached out, and I know that I don't know. I don't know. So I'm gonna leave that one alone. Girl Scout cookies are expensive. I'm sorry. I stopped really messing with Girl Scouts when I realized that they went really hard on supporting Planned Parenthood a couple of years back. I was like, man, I don't care nothing about those cookies. And I felt better about it. But those boxes of cookies were not that expensive then. I don't know how much they are now, but I'm like, man, y'all can kick rocks. All the rocks between here and El Segundo. I ain't worried about y'all. Y'all good. Yes, thank you so much for remembering the Dear Transplanted Chameleon campaign consultants. That's what we do. We consult. We're just helping out. We're just helping the people out. Hired guns, absolutely. Hired gun, you reach out to me. We're your hired people. We're helping you out. Okay. Thank you so much, Q, for hanging out with us. So everybody, thank you so much. Let's do this again tomorrow. I don't think there's anything going on in court, in Judge Glanville's court, but if there is, trust me, we will be on that joint. Maybe we'll just watch it ourselves. And so over here, I enjoy watching it on other channels, but I do understand that my channel of choice is not the best. So maybe we'll do it. Maybe we'll do it over here. So if there's anything going on in Judge Glanville's courtroom tomorrow, we'll watch it here, do a watch party here. But then we'll also start off by going through the motion to recuse Judge Glanville, which is going to be amazing. I did drop the link in there. I'll do it one more time. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, please check it out. And, that's your homework. That's your homework tonight. Please make sure you read over Judge Glanville's recusal motion and make sure you're ready to discuss in class tomorrow. I feel like a professor. That sounds like something a professor would say. Y'all, I appreciate you so much. Thank you, everybody that liked the video. Thank you so much to the very kind. Thank you so much, Joni, for this super sticker. Thank you so much for that. And thank you, Terry, for the very kind super chat. I appreciate you all so much. Let's do this again real soon, like in 10 hours or something, almost 12 hours. We'll do it again. When I get done, I'll go ahead and set the live stream up for tomorrow. So we'll probably start at 9 o'clock. I'll double check, make sure nothing's going on in Judge Glanville's office and then Judge Glanville's courtroom. And we'll start probably at 9 tomorrow and go through this and read it and have a good time. So until then, everybody, thank you so much. Grace and peace. Take care.